Shirley thanks you, by the way. She just went through it. No. that- Did you get one of these?
Council, can we get those mics screened? We're 1 minute away from the 30-minute mark. And the clock has struck 30, so at this time, I'd like to rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I'd like to take this opportunity to welcome our members of public and our broader partners in attendance for this evening's City Council agenda, and to those tuning in via our broadcast options. And with that, Clerk Tomasic, please call roll.
Schumate?
Here.
Cox?
Here.
McNabb?
Here.
Mulnar?
Here.
Valentine?
Here.
Walden?
Here.
Wood? Here.
We have a full house. All members are present this evening, so no members to excuse as absent. With that, I'd like to turn our attention to the approval of the agenda. Members of public, as noticed publicly, we have this evening's agenda in front of you. I have two proposed changes. The first one is Finance Director McEwen is feeling a little under the weather. And out of respect for her and the fact that this gentleman to my left has quite a heavy agenda with literally through item L, I would ask that council considers moving Finance Director McEwen's agenda to prior to DPW Director Santz. And that way, to preserve your voice for those topics, we could shift that order. So I'd be looking for a motion to move Finance Director McEwen's agenda to before DPW Director Santz.
Motion to change the agenda.
We have a motion by McNabb to make that move.
Second.
Second by Walden. Any discussion on that matter? Clerk Tomasic will have you call roll.
Cox?
Yes.
McNabb?
Yes.
Mulnar?
Yes.
Schumate?
Yes.
Valentine?
Yes.
Walden?
Yes.
Wood? Yes.
A motion carried. The second one is a addition that came in through DPW Director Santz. Do you want to give them a little context? I know they received that via email. This would be in addition to DPW Director Santz's agenda.
A motion to add item M, which is the purchase of 50 curb boxes from East Jordan Iron Works. I'd like to add that to my agenda there.
So council, for your consideration, would be a motion to approve the addition of item M under DPW Director Santz for the purchase of 50 curb boxes.
50? Make that motion.
A motion by McNabb. Is there a second?
Second. Ladies first.
Ladies first. Any discussion on that matter? Clerk Tomasic will have you call roll whenever you're ready.
McNabb?
Yes.
Mulnar?
Yes.
Schumate?
Yes.
Valentine?
Yes.
Walden?
Yes.
Wood? Yes. Cox?
Yes.
Motion carried. So just to recap, the Finance Director McEwen's report will move in front of DPW Director Sant, and then DPW Director Sant, you will have item M as an addition to your agenda.
Thank you.
With that, council will be looking for your motion to approve the agenda as revised.
Motion to approve the agenda as revised.
Motion by Walden. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Cox. Any discussion? Clerk Tomasic will have you call roll whenever you're ready.
Mulnar?
Yes.
Schumate?
Yes.
Valentine?
Yes.
Walden?
Yes.
Wood? Yes. Cox?
Yes.
McNabb?
Yes.
Motion carried. With a approved agenda, we'd love to turn over the floor to our public for any members of public that wish to address council. So this time, please make sure that light is green, state your name and address, and the floor is yours.
Julie Nickel, 30340 Friar. I'm here tonight to bring transparency to a decision that was made a few weeks ago, appointing a new member to the Planning Commission. We had thought that this decision was done honestly and correctly, trusting the council in their actions. Unfortunately, that was not the case. It has been brought to my attention by many that this decision was not done correctly in regards to what the ordinance and charter says. Apparently, council went on the nepotism clause on that decision. But if you read the ordinance and the charter, it clearly states about being related, but says nothing about a step-parent. Your decision has been made, and for the record, I am here on my husband's behalf, which is against his will. But it's not my nature to let things go that were not done properly. According to the language in the ordinance and the charter, which I have here, my husband unanimously won that vote. If you would have taken time to patiently read the ordinance and the charter and realized that my husband was a step-parent, not a biological parent, maybe things would have been different. I read the ordinance and the charter. I'm aware that you were informed that night that you had made a mistake and also after the meeting. Why, when you were confronted, and it was clear, weren't the appropriate measures taken into consideration in this addressed? You were aware of it, and you just brushed it off, and you all moved forward. This is proof that this council did not do their homework, and they did not proceed with the correct action to fix this obvious mistake. You just let it go. Before that council meeting where this vote took place, we had been told by numerous friends and residents that certain council members said they were not going to vote for my husband because he had a recall sign in our yard. Yes, we did, and as a taxpayer and a resident, we showed our concerns by putting that sign out, not because we didn't like the members, only showing that we didn't agree with some of the decisions. So obviously, we were judged. Quite unprofessional, if you ask me. We have a right to voice our opinion, just like everyone else. Also, a few days before council meeting, I was surprised that a council member took it upon himself to call my husband and others asking why they wanted him to be voted into that position. All the council members saw the application and what my husband's purpose was. These calls were wrong and they were unprofessional, especially when only one member was making them. Totally not normal procedure. If you're going to serve on this council, you need to be fair and exact. And when you make a mistake, admit it and fix it. But when something like this happens, you do nothing, the integrity and trust of this council is jeopardized. It is also disappointing to see this happening to our city. I have lived here for 61 years, and I have never seen anything like this. A lot of changes need to be made, and I just hope the residents see what's happening and make the right choices when they have a chance. You talk about transparency. Have any of you looked up the definition? Because I see transparency with a select few on this council, and the rest have their own agenda, and the residents in the city is not their concern. And believe me, the residents see it. Since this council was voted in, the picture is quite clear. Certain members have their own plan. For those of you who know my husband, they know the honest, caring, professional, fair, dedicated person that he is. To say the least, he applied for this position with a good heart for the city and the residents. After the comments and the phone calls, it didn't come as a surprise that he didn't get in. You made your decision, and we're fine. My whole point here was I wanted the residents to know and see, like me and others, how this decision was made. It was not right, nor was it fair, and you knew it, I know it, and now everybody knows it. If you weren't sure of the language, you should have waited until you all reread it, but you didn't. I hope larger decisions that affect taxpayer dollars are made with more concrete documented processes in alignment to our charter or policies. You should all be ashamed.
Just want to say thank you for the comment. I want you to know that we did immediately after that meeting have our city attorney weigh in on the matter. And I'm glad to follow up with you directly on the information that we got from our city attorney, but the commission appointment stood according to our city attorney.
And I appreciate if you would mention that you had asked me to reach out to Mr. Nickel, to which I complied.
Asked you to reach out to Mr. Nickel?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, we made contact with all individuals that were
Right,
part of the
and you
nomination.
had asked me to reach out,
Yeah, correct.
so it's normal procedure.
Yeah, we contacted every individual that was nominated.
Yep. And further, from my perspective, I know we have 2 positions open on the Board of Review that we're looking to fill, and hopefully not at the last minute like we've done before. So if Mr. Nickel or any of the other individuals that were interested in serving for the community have any interest, we do have 2 positions we're looking to fill and one of them is on the board of review. There may be others coming up.
Thank you. Are there any additional members of public that wish to address council?
Dave Reiser, 14368 Stoufflet. Question on the forensic audit. Are we going to incur more cost from Plant Moran to finalize this audit? Are we going to keep it in draft form forever? Yes, that's the
Director
question.
McEwen, I know your voice is hashy. Maybe you could speak to the current financials. I know this is all public record as far as financials go.
Excuse me, Mayor, are you speaking of the forensic audit?
Yes.
He's speaking of the forensic audit.
Yep.
Okay.
I believe we're done paying for it, as far as I know.
So they're going to finalize it for nothing?
So the forensic accountant audit, to answer your question, the bills are all public record, so that's all publicly
I know,
available.
$77,000 so far.
So on that note, I know Plant Moran was the individual partner on the forensic accounting audit component.
Right.
As you're aware, council then did authorize the release of that draft report to the special investigator.
Correct.
By definition, we removed all voting members sitting in front of you entirely from this process. So none of us have been involved, nor have we seen any content associated with any of this that we're discussing. Why am I giving all that background? You can imagine with the special investigator having the draft report in their hands due to the special investigation process, right? They will work with our administration and council, and ultimately Plant Moran as applicable to finalize this process. So accountant report is now in the hands of a special investigator. Could that, in theory, produce additional data interpretation requirements or questions that have to be answered? In theory, yes. But we don't have any of that information today, and we have not been asked to induce any more financial expenditure on that topic.
How much have we spent on the special investigator? I haven't seen those bills.
So again, all those bills will be of public record.
So I would assume it's going to be close to $100,000 before it's all said and done.
I think it'd be inappropriate to forecast.
Okay, well.
The process will prevail ultimately, and the goal was to have an unbiased set of experts driving said process.
And I understand your point. It seems to me that it's a waste of taxpayers' money to spend, I'm gonna say an estimate of $1,000 or $100,000 for a $30,000 personnel budget. I mean, that's what you're investigating. $30,000 personnel budget a year, and that's what you're investigating.
I respect your
$100,000
opinion.
for that doesn't seem right as a taxpayer. It's wasting my money.
Well, let me, Mayor, if you may, let me add some clarity to that. I don't know where you're coming up with the $30,000.
Out of your budget, right in line.
You don't know what the extent of the audit, what years they took place, what period of time. The budget, I mean, the audit, sadly, when taxpayer funds are utilized in a allegation that was brought up by Mayor Dennison, we have an obligation to proceed with finding what happened here. There was an allegation made. It's taxpayer money, and regardless of how you feel, it's taxpayer money. And if there is a crime associated with it or allegations of a crime, it needs to be researched. How that's done, it has to be done in an arm's length transaction. This was advice given to us, given to me personally from the detective at Michigan State Police Post, the detective that actually former Chief Tangway reached out to and was supposed to have me on the line with him, and it didn't occur. So I reached out to him separately to get the action that was required or not. And the action that was required was independent audit. And that's what we did. So that audit is in draft form right now because it's a living document. It was always important as the investigator, special investigator responsibility was given to your treasurer to move that out of the hands of the auditor, get it into the hands of the special investigator, and have them determine if the investigation should go forward or should it be dropped back into the hands of counsel to make whatever disciplinary action, if any, is required. So far, the investigation is moving forward, and by forward means it's out of the hands of counsel and it's in a public agency situation right now. So I wanted that to happen sooner rather than later, especially now it's out of our control. It's totally out of our control. So the living document, the draft, whether investigation has to go back to Plant Moran and seek additional information. That's yet to be seen. We don't know that. It might not take that action. It might be further investigated and with no action required by the audit, and the audit will stand where it is. What you don't know is the money that the audit saved from prior councils not enacting the right softwares, the processes of approvals, the oversight that should have happened with former directors of public service, former council people that look at a consent agenda and okay it when there's problematic things. And I've warned council about that as soon as I got into the saddle as of the treasurer. So it took me probably 3 days to find some of the flaws that we're talking about right now, when for the past 20 years, these things have been happening and rotating, and it created a culture here that got us into the audit situation. So I could assure you right now that all of us want the financial aspect of it stopping. But what this audit did, it highlighted two simple things. One, we had no process or controls within that department to provide oversight of the taxpayer money. Three, there was a systemic culture here that seemed to, regardless of how payrolls were produced, didn't have the proper oversight to put the structure in place so this thing wouldn't happen. It was a domino thing that just kept rolling and rolling. We've stopped that. I don't know what else to say that, you know, there's going to be proponents that wish this didn't happen. We all wish it didn't happen. But it's taxpayer funds. And council and everybody else in this room and watching in there, when taxpayers' funds, there's an allegation of taxpayer funds being improperly used, it needs an investigation. Who's going to do that? This is a small community. There's friends of friends of friends. There's family heredity here. It needs to be at arm's length. This shouldn't be news to anybody. This started way back on August 12th of 2024, and it resurrected into a request I made to council on August 26th of 2024. And since that time, the books have been open, my office has been open. Not one person has come to see me about this audit. Not one person on August 8th, when Scott Dennison got up on that podium and called people out about fraudulent activity, nobody in this community even raised an eyebrow over it. Not one comment. So we acted, as your treasurer, I acted in the best interest of the citizens here that want their fair share of taxpayer money to go to the responsible operation that it should be. If there's an allegation by a mayor, not by just a general citizen, but a former mayor whose activity, all this happened under his watch, and your watch, I can't sit here and say, oh, I can't do anything about it. I have an obligation to all the taxpayers in this community to move forward, and that's what we did. That's what council did. They exercised their right in the best interest of this community, and it's marching forward. Do we want the audit bleeding to stop? Yes, I think we have done that, because if the public agency is moving forward with it outside of our control, there's no use of any more taxpayer money going to it. The investigation will be picked up by the taxpayers of the state of Michigan. So that's where we're at.
Well, everything you just said has nothing to do with the audit. All the changes you made had nothing to do with the audit. You made those outside of the audit, unless you know information in the audit that's there that we don't know anything about.
I don't even.
The other thing is,
I don't even know how that makes any sense. I
the audit is separate from what you just said.
The audit is not separate from what I just
Well,
said.
I don't want to argue with you.
And Mr. Reiser, with all due respect, right, all of this has been handled in a public forum.
I understand
right?
all that.
Every step of the way, we've disclosed the information we can. Council has used their right to, as elected officials, vote in a given direction. We have all of that on public record, all of our budgetary and expenditure information, public record. So we've given you all the information we have, right?
I understand all that. Okay. I'd like to make a statement if I can. To me, as a treasurer, should have done a cost analysis of what your loss was compared to what it's going to cost you to find out what it is. I mean, to me.
Let me stop you for there for
I-
1 second.
I let you talk. Let me
didn't-
talk.
Please.
Nobody,
Treasurer
nobody knew what the loss was,
Treasurer Fonte.
you know?
I can't talk. He won't let me.
No, please, you have a right to.
I'm done now.
Okay.
You've stopped it.
I would sit down too because your facts are wrong. Your facts,
No, I'm not wrong.
Treasurer Fonte,
they're
please.
absolutely wrong because
Treasurer Fonte,
you
please.
wouldn't even know what the amount was. Nobody knew what the amount was. Otherwise, your mayor and your police chief would have known
Fonte,
something.
please.
So stop the charades.
Please. Are there any additional members of public that wish to address council this evening?
Tim Garrett, 30624 Bayview. Thanks, Treasurer Fonte, for your information. Without an audit, you wouldn't even know how to stop it, in my opinion. That's not what I came up here to say, but without the audit, the stopping doesn't end. I mean, the money doesn't stop being misused. But why I came up here is to let the residents know that this Sunday, there's some people running for office in November. We will have a coffee with candidates event at the Gibraltar Community Center in the conference room. We've rented it. It was not by the city, so people know. Come have coffee, have a donut, meet some of the, people running. I know Councilman Walden, Treasurer Fonte, myself, and possibly another one would be there. If you want to just come up, talk to us, talk about city events, get to know us, because that's been brought up at several meetings, that people don't know who's running, they don't know about these people, so feel free to come up and ask questions and get to know us.
Couple questions. What time did you say on
Oh,
Sunday?
sorry, 9 a.m. to noon.
9 a.m.? And what kind of coffee are you having?
I'm not sure yet, but I don't like cheap coffee, so it'll be something decent. Thank you.
Appreciate that. Thank you so much.
I'd like to comment real quick to Dave's, Mr. Reiser's. In our charter, we have section 6.18, which enables us to investigate items. And you can, the first public comment, touch base on if a council person up here has anything to do with anything, they immediately, go to there's wrongdoing or it's favoritism or disfavoritism or something of that. So that it's super important for us to outsource that so that we avoid those accusations. So I think that it's super important that we did that. We did that. Where the costs come in, yeah, it stinks that they cost what they cost. If we put it up here to anybody that had other alternative plans for how we could go about that investigation under 6.18, and this was the best option that we had out of a bunch of bad ones.
Thank you. And I think I want to say, since we're on the topic of the fire department, we just got out of a very productive study session held by Fire Chief Simon with many of our fire department members. So in light of that conversation, I just want to reinforce how grateful we are for the fire department, what they're doing for the community. We talked about things like 25 individuals currently a part of the department, so ranking in higher numbers and recruitment. Congratulations. We talked about response time for our department compared to full-time departments being comparable. We talked about the ability to meet the needs of the community and the fact that the call volume's gone through the roof in 2025. We talked about all of the amazing process and procedure evolution that you all have done, including wage scales and broader SOP, SOG updates. We talked about the amazing open house you just had this weekend, engaging our community in such a constructive fashion. We talked about a lot of people that work incredibly hard to achieve leadership positions, including yourself, Fire Chief Simon, and your oversight and leadership of the department, and all of those that come together. So it's important for me to say that. Thank you. I understand that's a unfortunate negative aspect of what we've had to deal with. But that's why the windshield is bigger than the rearview mirrors. That's why you all are doing amazing work in the department. That's why we're letting process prevail through everything we just discussed. And just thank you to everybody in the fire department that's listening for all you do. Is there any additional members of the public that wish to address council?
Good evening. Deborah Dene, 30718 Adams Drive. I am here tonight just to summarize the events that have happened between myself and the city the last few weeks. First off, thank you to Mayor Shumate for assisting me with the issues with my tree, who is now affectionately named Weepy Elmer. let me go back and start from the beginning for those of you who don't know, because this is an ongoing battle that I'm facing, and I'm kind of upset about it. I had to have my sewer line replaced, quite an expensive undertaking, and my sewer line runs between my house and Mr. Walden's house. I went to Mr. Walden's house to ask them to please contact the homeowners, because he's not the homeowner, to let them know I'd have heavy equipment there. The space between our two houses is quite small, so I wanted to make sure there weren't any issues and make sure they were properly notified. Upon doing so, Mr. Walden's wife informed me that the bigger problem I have is that my tree needs to be removed. This was quite upsetting to me. I didn't understand where she was coming from. And I had more important things on my plate, so I kind of brushed it off at the moment. And I said, what do you mean my tree needs to be removed? And she told me it's a safety issue. I don't know why my tree is a safety issue, but having spent many, many years in government employment, dealing with safety issues with over 200 employees at a time, I'm pretty well versed in dealing with safety issues. So safety's always been prominent in my life and in my career. I deal with safety issues within a 24-hour period. It was mandatory. So to find out my tree was a safety issue was a little concerning to me. I brushed it off. I had more important things to do. And so later on, we were getting the sewer line replaced. They hit the water line, so I had to contact DPW and ask them, please come turn the water off at the main, which happens to be by my tree, and found out I have lead lines. So it's probably a good thing we found that out, but Mr. Cassant came out, and the first thing he said to me is, by the way, we're taking your tree down. So this is now the second time in the matter of a week and a half that I've heard that my tree is an issue and it's going to be coming down. Prior to this, I didn't know anything about it. And thank God, months prior, I happened to be home one day when big trucks rolled up and were eyeballing my tree like they were getting ready to cut it down. And I didn't understand that. And I went outside and I said, what's going on? And they said, oh, we're on the wrong street. We're supposed to be on Bayview. Well, I didn't think anything of that at the time because they didn't touch my tree. So, well, now I found out this has been ongoing for months, but nobody bothered to tell me about it. I did get in touch. Thank you, Cody, for getting me in touch with the mayor. And on our conversation the day that we conversed, my neighbor, Mr. Walden, came over to me and had a conversation with me. I asked him who sent him, and he said he came as my neighbor and as a councilman. And my comment was, you should have came as my neighbor if there was an issue with my tree. Now it's a little bit too late because now it's caused a firestorm, and now I'm upset because nobody has talked to me about this. My tree, from my calculations, on the modest side, is approximately 114 years old. One of the reasons I bought my house is because I love that tree and the way it frames the picture of my home. I've lived here for 3 years. I love this community, and I've brought my property up to a little bit nicer looking than it was when I purchased it. I have pride in ownership as a property owner. As a property owner, I believe I have rights. I have rights to know when somebody's coming to take my tree down. And then the comment was it's on an easement, to which I replied, no, I have an easement behind my house. The easement in front of my house is not what he claimed it was. We were at an impasse, and I told him, you're not taking my tree down. So this has been an ongoing battle for a couple of weeks. My understanding is my tree was reported as a safety issue by Mr. Walden. There's been back and forth conversation on Facebook because I needed to get my information out from what I have also sent to Mayor Shoemate. He was afraid that my branches would come through his bedroom or come through his daughter's bedroom. He was afraid that one of the branches hanging over the road would fall in the road. Well, I took 47 pictures of trees around the city that have branches hanging over the road, that have branches hanging over houses. My neighbor's tree, if a piece of that came out, would come through my house. There's trees, beautiful, lovely old trees throughout the city. I don't think we need to go hacking them all down because there's a possibility that something might happen. I had my tree inspected 2 years ago. It came back with a clean bill of health. So I don't understand why I'm being targeted. Now, the troubling part when I came to speak tonight is I heard the same thing that went through my mind, and I did express it to Mayor Schumate, and we conversed about it. I was afraid I was being retaliated against because I had a recall sign in my yard. That's troubling to me. And then tonight, I heard the same exact comment. So, being in management for all the years I have been, I'm really versed at understanding when there's conflict in a place, in a workplace. I see a lot of conflict in this city, and I haven't paid a lot of attention to the politics here except for after the police chief was fired. If I, in my position, came across information that showed fraud, and then I got fired, I'd certainly be wagging some tongue on that, too. So, and then, you know, the happenings that have happened on this council is disturbing to me. When I saw Mr. Walden get appointed over people that looked to have a little bit more experience, perhaps, I was troubled by that. I'm not gonna, but I wished him well. And now I have issues with Mr. Walden holding his seat, knowing he purposely is trying to have my tree cut down. I don't know why. He never spoke to me about it. Like I explained to him, had he come to me as a neighbor when this all started, we could have come to an agreement. Had someone come to me and said there was issues, perhaps a safety issue with my tree in my yard, because it hasn't been shown it's in the easement yet, correct?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
want to let you finish just so I can give some
Okay.
information and context.
I have problems with someone trying to steamroll me to get an agenda across. That has nothing to do with them. I have rights. I moved here and bought a house as a property owner. I have rights. If we can't conduct business in a manner that is more reflective of conscientious caring for our taxpayers, for our property owners, if we can't come to them and say, you know, there's an issue, DPW has gotten a complaint or whatever it is, that's how I'm used to dealing with things that arise. I didn't get any notification there was an issue with my tree, and then after I made a stink about it to protect myself and my tree, now I have a giant green X painted on my tree. It wasn't there before, but it's there now. It's got a reprieve, thank you, Mayor, until we get to the bottom of this. But I hope that you all can understand, this is not about more than a tree. This is more than a 114-plus-year-old tree. This is about my rights. This is about the rights of everybody in this room that owns a home here, everybody that's listening online. We have rights. Not for someone to just come in, take over your property, do whatever you want. Had they had come, and that's what I told the officer when I spoke to him, they vandalized my tree. It's no different than putting a giant green X on my house, in my opinion. Same thing. It's vandalism. I don't get it. I hadn't even seen it. I wouldn't have even seen it. My neighbor pointed it out to me. I don't come that way to go home. So now my neighbors are looking out for me because they're worried you're going to all come in and just chop my tree down one day. That's not right. I shouldn't have to live like that. So, with that being said, I don't think it's appropriate that Mr. Walden sits on this council anymore. I think we could let the voters vote who they want as a council member. I don't think Mr. Walden should be sitting on council anymore. Not when he comes trying to attack people that are homeowners that pay their taxes. That's not what his job is as a council member. And I would really like you to take that into consideration, or maybe perhaps you should resign. Thank you.
I just, a lot that you just laid out there, including like individual name mentions and some accusations about some of the historical situations. Just a couple things that I think are important to me. And Councilman Walden will give you the floor if you want to say any commentary, since some of that was directed to you.
Yeah, I do. I want to say a couple of
Please.
things. So firstly, I want to accurately paint the timeline.
I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time hearing. I'm half deaf, so.
I'm sorry. I wanted to accurately paint the timeline for you. So when my concern was first raised, was prior to you moving into your house. It was prior to that. So I had nothing to do with where we're at to this point. My first concern was raised prior to you moving into the home. I've made a couple more mentions of it throughout the years, but I will admit I never came to you prior to what happened. My mistake. But what I want to come out of this, as you'll see coming later down in the meeting, we're going to take a fact-based approach to this and determine where the property lines are and kind of go from there. But moreover, no matter what the outcome is, I want to be respectful neighbors. I don't like having bad neighbors. I don't like to have any sort of tension. I don't like to create problems. Like, that's not what I'm here for. I'm here for the community as a whole, and you're one of the most important people, being my neighbor. Simple as that. But outside of that, I just want you to know that we are going to do a fact-based approach. This isn't anything where it's me versus you. Like, I don't want that. And that's all I have to say.
Thank you. And I think a couple things for me. You know, one, as Councilman Walden mentioned, and as I think it sent you an email on specifically, one item, specifically item I on the agenda for DPW Director Sant tonight is to have that survey performed. And that's a data-driven approach. It's not any individual interest. It's a data-driven approach on the survey so that we can have all the facts in front of us to discuss. And you have our commitment that we'll reconvene on that. I think just a couple other things that you mentioned, just for context purposes, the lead line work we're proud of, because through the inspection process, there's a $400,000 grant received to the city of Gibraltar. Through that inspection process, we're able to inspect, identify, and then ultimately replace. And I know the teams have been very hard at work to make that happen. And at the end of the day, it's a great situation for the community, right? Those lead lines have been sitting there for way too long.
Right.
The money is available through the grant. And so the resident has no financial exposure for us to come in with our partners and get the work done. So that's good news, hopefully, for the community. And we have already updated on that numerous times in regards to no expense to us. The grant helped facilitate the cost and ultimately the service of the community and replacing those lines. So that's good news. On the tree trimming front, just bigger picture, it's another thing that we're trying to do as an administration to get to work on what are identified trees that are problematic, some of which are on city property that the teams have been at work, and that was authorized recently. So just want to have a couple contextual data points, but to your point, and to Councilman Walden's point, the facts will ultimately prevail, and the survey will be our next step. And I know John has been in touch, and obviously coming out of tonight's meeting, assuming council approval, that will be where we go from here. And I'm expecting that would be in a matter of days, if not a week at
At
most.
least a week.
Great.
So speaking of the lead line, that was another thing that John spoke to me about on site was, oh, well, there's another reason why we have to cut your tree down. So we have to run a new water line, and it has no bearing on my tree. The roots to my tree don't go that, I have pictures that show the root level of that tree. They don't go that far down. The water line was buried underneath my sewer line, which is why it was struck. And it's 6 feet down or more is that water line. They ran it underneath that tree when they originally ran it. That tree has been there before the water lines were. So I have there's a lot of inconsistencies with these stories, and that's where my issue lies. I don't have a problem if someone comes to me and gives me facts and says, we need to do this and we need to do that, and let's do this, we're gonna do this. If we need to take your tree down, then we will, clean it up. It's obviously gonna make a huge impact on my front yard, because that's a huge tree. It's gonna mess my entire front yard up. Maybe offered me an opportunity to plant a big tree, a maple or something somewhere else, so it's not, whatever. I mean, I'm not an unreasonable person, and it troubles me. I have to come here and speak these things, because it's not the way I normally do business. So I hope that going forward, what we learn from this issue is that we're gonna treat our citizens a little bit better. We're gonna give them the respect that's due them, and that they will get notification properly. If there's an issue, we're gonna have conversation, and we get to the bottom of it, instead of having to go through all of this and paying for a survey out of the city's, again, out of the city funds. I mean, I'm from a finance area, so I'm like, okay. We're paying for a property owner survey to get to the bottom of this, so. Yeah, I would like to see a little bit more transparency in this department. I want to see, I don't like seeing the cronyism that's taken place. It's very obvious, it's evident. Other people are speaking about it, and it's troubling to me. It's not a good way to run a city. It's not a good way to run any organization. So thank you. Thank you, and thank you again for your time and your trouble and helping me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Are there any additional members of public that wish to address council?
Sean LaFleur, 30744 Adams. First of all, I know I've heard this before, is I don't care if you rent your home or if you own your home. Should all be the same respect. Doesn't matter.
Well said.
Everybody pays taxes. I don't care if you own or rent. I've lived here since I was 24. I'm 62. I also had to have a tree taken down, but it was ill, so it had to go. I live on the other side of Councilman Walden. My tree was over in his yard how many years ago? A few years ago? Where did they have it? It was hanging over in your yard, and if trees, limbs would have fell, that would have been on me. So we had it trimmed. So I think instead of asking people to step down, I know people get upset about their property, but I think we could work a little bit well together instead of just wanting people to step down because they don't agree. We're all going to disagree, but we can agree to disagree. So, and I can see his concern that he doesn't want anything dropped on his house because the one storm we had, 80 calls in one night? A lot of damage, so it's about taking care of each other, not putting each other down.
Yeah, I think that's one huge takeaway for all of us is the respect and civility from a neighbor perspective and a surrounding community population perspective. We have an amazing community. We should be cherishing that component of it. Are there any additional members of public that wish to address council? Okay.
I want to rebut what she said if I can. The major issues with my tree and the pieces coming down, one was during the ice storm. And my tree fared very well, considering the only thing that lost was the limb that came down in the road. The second was a tornado. Those are acts of God. There were trees dropped all over the city. There were pieces of trees dropped all over the city. During the ice storm, I pulled in my driveway from work and watched the tree behind us disintegrate. Massive pieces of it fell and hit the ground. I was shocked. I couldn't believe what I was watching. Took the power lines down. I mean, that's going to happen, especially this city is beautiful. That's one of the reasons I moved here. I love the trees and the landscape. I raised my daughter in northern Michigan. This reminds me of up north. I love it here. So it is a respect thing. I have pictures of the tree branches down from your tree almost hitting their cars in their driveway. I mean, but their tree's not being targeted. So why is my tree being targeted? I put pictures online. It shows the branches. They don't go over his roof that much. And they're small willowy branches. They don't do damage. So this is kind of a little bit out of control, especially with my last post. It shows the mulberry tree that's a junk tree. It spreads crap all over my yard, my deck, my patio for a month. For a month. It's breaking the fence down. If that fence comes down, it's going to damage my house. But we're not concerned about that either. That's my problem. That's my issue. I'm a very neighborly person. I was not treated neighborly in this whole thing. Thank you.
Thank you. Any additional members of the public that wish to address council? All right, well, with that, we are going to close our public comment. We'll have another one before we adjourn, and I would love to give the floor to an exciting discussion today, which is Plant Moran and the Plant Moran 2025 audit presentation. Thanks, Amy.
Okay, good evening. So I'm Bill Bricky with Plant Moran. With me today is my associate James Hoppola, and we're here to talk about the audit for the year ended June 30, 2025. There are actually three separate audit deliverables that we'll briefly touch on tonight. We have the financial statements, which is the large bound document that you have in your packet. We have a report to mayor and council, and finally, we have the graph presentation, which we'll project on the screen, and we hand it out to you tonight. Before we get going, just want to take a real quick moment and really thank your staff and Amy and everyone at the city who's helped us throughout the audit. You know, the audit does take several weeks for us to complete, and we appreciate all the assistance we receive from everybody at the city. We have covered all of these documents in detail with management, and our goal tonight is to provide you a high-level summary and answer any questions that you may have related to the audit. So the first thing, before we get into the slides, I just want to spend a few minutes and talk about a few audit matters. The first would be our opinion on your financial statements. So the main deliverable we provide you is putting an opinion on those financial statements. It's included in there on page 1. And the city did receive an unmodified audit opinion, again in the current year, which essentially means the financial statements are in compliance with all the rules and regulations. So our opinion does not speak to whether the numbers are good numbers or bad numbers. It's really just that we're attesting that these are the correct numbers. So when you look at the financial statements, we're happy to provide that unmodified opinion. Also want to spend just a minute and talk about, we do have three separate audit matters to talk about tonight. They're included in the 6-page stapled letter addressed to mayor and council, and they start on page 2. So whenever we identify any internal control matters throughout the audit, we are required to communicate to you in your position as mayor and council. And the three items we have to talk about tonight, a few of them are recurring and one new one. The first item I want to talk about is the fact that we had auditor-identified journal entries as part of the audit process. So under the auditing standards, the expectation is when I come in to do the audit, the numbers that are provided to me are not adjusted as a result of our audit procedures. Now, practically, we often help our clients close the books so we can prepare the financial statements. And really, the first finding that we have in there just talks about that process. So we are allowed to do that. We just have to inform you that we indeed did do that as part of the audit. The second item we have in there, again, is a recurring item, and it relates to the overall segregation of duties. As we've discussed in the past, financial activities should be segregated so that one individual doesn't have control over all aspects of a financial transaction, meaning they're not authorizing, recording, and reconciling transactions. The city's made significant improvements in this area. You've put a lot of processes in place to help combat kind of the small size of the city. But in the current year, with the absence of a city administrator for most of the year and just limited staff, this just continues to be a risk. So I want to point out that we didn't find any errors or issues related, to the lack of segregation of duties, but the potential is there, and that's why we have to bring it to your attention here tonight. And then the third item we want to talk about is that, the city did have some new purchasing policies put in place, and so we always test adherence to that policy. And we did identify, and it was brought to our attention, that there were certain purchases made in the current year that were not authorized by council prior to purchase. I will say that, and that was required under the purchasing policy. But overall, council did approve the payment of those invoices, and so it kind of happened, but it was after the fact. So again, just highlight the fact that we did have that one item. So again, these internal control matters are things that, you can digest and talk with management about corrective action plans. Certainly when it comes to internal control matters, cost benefit is always something you need to consider. So, putting in the best internal control system might not be practical given the size of the city, but there are certainly things that you can do to strengthen some of these controls, and that's why we kind of report them to you in this audit. So with that, we'll take a look at some of the numbers. So I'm going to have James go through the graph presentation, and really what this does is just highlight the financial results of a few funds, and then after that, we'd be happy to address any questions that you may have.
Thank you.
Good evening. As Bill mentioned, I'm James Hoppola, and I will be running through some high-level graphs that we hope will help display some of the overall financial information of the city, focused mainly on the general fund. So before I get into this first graph here, which is on the past 4 years, the revenue for the general fund, I wanted to make note that during the 24-25 fiscal year, the city did move the solid waste activity to its own fund. As you will see in this slide, the expenditure slide and the fund balance slide, excuse me, the prior 3 years would have the solid waste activity included in them, whereas 2025 would not. We did try to break this out for ease of viewership to its own color, to make it a little bit easier to see the impact, as well as showing you the dollar amounts that are in the table at the bottom. So for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2025, total revenue did decrease by approximately $265,000 from the previous year. You will note that in that second line, 261 of that tax revenue did relate to solid waste and is now recorded in its own fund, as I mentioned. So the years are really close from a revenue standpoint in totality. The city's largest source of revenue is still property tax, which, excluding the solid waste portion, did increase approximately $86,000, roughly 4%, mainly due to property tax value increases, less the Headley rollback on millage. State and federal sources decreased by about $270,000, or roughly 18%, due to about $200,000 less of ARPA revenue that was previously included in 2024, and $137,000 less CDBG revenue, but also increased the state shared revenue by roughly $76,000. The remaining components of revenue did remain relatively stable compared to last year. This graph here is used to demonstrate the decrease in the taxable value as a result of the decline in the housing market from roughly 2009 to 2011. The city finally did return to the pre-recession levels in 2022, and now the city is quite a bit over where they were from 2022, with an increase of 8% this past year. The shaded 2 years are kind of projecting the increase at a very conservative 2%. This next graph presents the past 4 years of expenditures for the general fund. Total expenditures have technically decreased by $176,000 from the prior year, with the solid waste fund moving out and accounting for $227,000 of that last year. The transfer out was the movement of the solid waste cash and cash equivalents to its own fund. So if you take that compared to last year and take out that solid waste activity, really it's a $64,000 net decrease in the expenditure. So again, very consistent. Looking at the other classifications, there was pretty good consistencies with last year's balances. Public safety did have increases related to police employee compensation, as well as 3 new vehicles. And fire did have some decreases related mainly to maintenance of vehicles and some education expenses. For the current year, all department expenditures were under budget outside of 2 small overages, which means that the department heads are operating as approved by City Council. And there have been no significant changes to the city's cost structure of the general fund this past year. This next slide here presents the past 4-year fund balance for the general fund. During the 2025 fiscal year, total fund balance did increase by approximately $114,000. Fund balance is broken up into various components. Non-spendable fund balance will benefit the city in the future, but the cash has already been spent. Restricted fund balance represents the resources that are legally restricted by legislation to be spent on its intended purposes, which this year obviously had a $0 balance with the moving out of the solid waste fund. Assigned fund balance represents the city's plan for future spending. Items included in this total are $667,000 for capital projects and another $16,000 for cemetery expenses. Unassigned fund balance represents the resources available to the city. In 2025, unassigned fund balance is approximately 53% of the total 2025 general fund expenditures. These unassigned fund balances are important to maintain on hand in case of emergency situations or any other unforeseen situations that require use of funds. Taking a quick look here at the water and sewer fund, that blue bar is the operating revenue compared to the orange operating expenses, and the reddish or goldish bar showing operating expenses excluding depreciation. The blue compared to the orange is really showing the year operations. The city has more revenue than expenses in the current year, which obviously is very important. And then the blue compared to that gold bottom bar is showing the cash increase in the water and sewer fund. The current water and sewer rates are appropriate to continue to generate cash, but the city should obviously continue to monitor those water and sewer rates so that they are at an adequate level. This last slide here shows the legacy costs at the city. The liability line represents the actuarial calculated liability for each plan, and the asset line represents the money that the city has set aside for each of the plans. As you can see, each of the pension plans are more than fully funded, and the OPEB plan for retiree healthcare is funded at about 18%. For retiree healthcare, the city operates it as a pay-as-you-go model, covering the benefit payments necessary, but also does contribute an additional $30,000 to help increase that funding. With that, if there are any questions for Bill or myself, we'd be happy to respond to those.
I just want to have a couple comments. One, thank you and the team for working hard to perform said audit. Two, a huge shout out to Finance Director McEwen, who every day keeps us very honest about our budgetary considerations and all the work you do, because I know audit timing is a difficult chapter in the course of the calendar year. Three, huge shout out to the department heads, as you heard, being very, I would say, diligent in regards to their budgets and accountable to them in partnership with Amy. And then four, to me, I get excited when I see the results in context of the administration's focus moving forward. And so my headline takeaways are, if you think about revenue, it's pretty consistent year over year if you factor in that solid waste tax revenue shift. Specifically, it's about a $4K difference if you do the math, if I calculate that correctly. So that's a good signal, is that we're maintaining that. Number two, our funditures have decreased $64K on a net basis, which is good because amongst everything we're trying to accomplish and all the projects we're getting done, we're not seeing those expenditures dial up significantly year over year. In fact, they did decrease. And then three, as we think about all the unknown trajectory considerations economically, societally, we want to make sure we have good balance on hand. So for back-to-back years, having an increase in that general fund balance, including 114K year-over-year increase, is a great signal, I think. And again, a testament to everybody involved. So I get excited about these results. Obviously, there's a ton of work to do, and we got to manage the risk bigger picture. But thank you for the audit, and thank you to the teams that made this possible. Any questions or comments for our auditors? Well, thank you. I know the front end of our meeting was a little longer, so I appreciate you being patient as we navigated some of those discussions, but thank you for being here for the presentation. Clerk Tomasic, would you like a motion to receive and file this?
Yeah, that's on Amy's report, but we could do that now.
Amy, would you like us to handle that now, or do you prefer to wait? All right, great. Council will be looking for a motion to receive and file the Plant Moran 2025 audit presentation.
Motion to receive and file the 2025 Plant and Moran audit presentation.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by McNabb. Council, any discussion on this matter? Thank you again, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Clerk Tomasic will have you call roll whenever you're ready.
Schumate?
Yes.
Valentine?
Yes.
Walden?
Yes.
Wood? Yes. Cox?
Yes.
McNabb?
Yes.
Mulnar?
Yes.
Motion carried. With that, we will move on to our consent agenda. Council, in front of you in your packet, you will have items A, B, and C for consent agenda. Do we have a motion to approve items A through C for our consent agenda?
Motion to approve the consent agenda.
Motion by Walden. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Valentine. Any discussion on this matter? Clerk Tomasic will have you call roll whenever you're ready.
Valentine?
Yes.
Walden?
Yes.
Wood? Yes. Cox?
Yes.
McNabb?
Yes.
Mulnar?
Yes.
Schumate?
Yes. Motion carried. That will take us to communications, for which we do not have any this evening, which brings me to my report. I am incredibly excited about this first item, which is the appointment of our city administrator, Witherspoon, and the authorization of her employment agreement. I know you're in attendance here. Do you mind coming up to the podium? I just want to, first and foremost, thank Rachel for going through what was a very rigorous process that led us to this point in time today. Number two, we are incredibly excited to have you on board and want to make sure you have a great on-ramp tomorrow and for the many, many, many chapters in front of us long-term. And three, for council's perspective, one thing that I want to task you all with is based on the information in your packet and our discussions today, I'd like to lead with a motion to appoint Rachel Witherspoon to be our next city administrator with a start date of tomorrow, October 14th, and the ability to authorize the execution of her employment agreement. Would one of my council members like to make that motion?
I'll make the motion.
We have a motion by Cox. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by McNabb. Any discussion from my council members? Clerk Tomasic will have you call roll whenever you're ready.
Walden?
Yes.
Wood? Yes. Cox?
Yes.
McNabb?
Yes.
Mulnar?
Yes.
Schumate?
Yes.
Valentine?
Yes.
Motion carried. We are so incredibly excited to have you on board. I just want to give you the floor in case you had anything you'd like to say.
I would just like to express how excited I am as well. I think I've expressed to all of you that my family has long history here. They insist on coming too. So we're all very excited for me to be here and to work with you all. I'm so excited to be a part of Gibraltar's next chapter and to see what we can do together. And I want to thank you for putting your trust in me.
Thank you so much. Can we give a round for Rachel, please? And if you're open to it, I thought it was a special day. If we could get you up for a photo with your new administration, I think that'd be a cool opportunity. Would somebody from the audience be willing to take a photo, please? We're going to have you stand in the middle, center, and we'll have everybody else stand behind you. And let us know when you're ready, so you get everybody's.
Come on.
Get on over here. Amy, we need you in here. Yeah, this is a special one.
Hold your breath, yes.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
So excited to begin tomorrow.
We have a whole playbook waiting for you tomorrow morning, and then we have a pizza lunch arranged with the entire staff. So we are so excited, Rachel, to have you on board, and we have a bright future together ahead of us.
I'm excited to be there. Also, I made brownies, so stop by and get some brownies tomorrow. So.
It keeps getting better and better. Congratulations, and we're incredibly excited. And congrats to the family, too. With that special moment in time and a long chapter ahead of us, I want to take us to my second component, which is item B, administrative updates. Council, I won't go into immense detail other than to make sure you had our strategic priority list and that all of our key advancements are captured in bold. A lot of exciting progress across a ton of different projects. Rachel did get a copy of this so that she has that backdrop as she approaches her first day tomorrow. I won't go into any other detail than to say, if you think about each bucket, I want to give a big shout out to DPW Director Song as well. And I know it takes an army, and there's professional service vendors, there's our DPW team, there's so many parties that come together, but we are getting an incredible amount of work done for the community. While you don't see all the details in this packet, you hear obviously the authorizations, you see the work going on around town. Just a forward looking that this month we'll be publishing our 2-year summary of accomplishments, just so that you have bigger picture visibility to where we've advanced key priorities across the community. But council, any questions or comments on the strategic priority list? Anything you wanted to clarify, call out? Great. Well, that will close the strategic priority update and my administrative updates according to that. And what I would like to then do is turn it over to our council report. So Councilman Valentine, the floor is yours.
No report, sir.
No report from Councilman Valentine. Any questions from Councilman Valentine? All right, next is Councilwoman Wood, Beautification Commission and Historical Museum.
That was quick, okay. Thank you. We had fall cleanup day on Saturday. We were able to clean up around the Talbot Center, the swale, removed old flowers, replaced with fall decorations. It was a very nice day, and we enjoyed a nice pizza lunch. We also, I wanted to mention that we had 2 volunteers from the Honor Society that helped. I didn't get their names. I just think it was Callie and Mally.
Callie and
That's what I thought, okay. So, that was part of our cleanup day, and, you know, it went well. It went very well, I think. The museum, the historical museum, I'm going to tell people that we have a historical museum, and it's on the second floor of this building, because people that come there still do not realize we have a museum, even though it's been there for 13 years. So I'm just letting you know, it's upstairs, second floor. We're open the first Sunday of every month from 2 to 4. And so I just wanted to let people know that. And we had a nice turnout on Sunday, and I didn't think it was going to be that great because the weather was wonderful, and I thought everybody was going to be on their boat for like the last boating day. But we did get quite a few people. I was happy about that. And the next day, on Monday, there was a gentleman that came to our museum, and he was here from Vancouver, Washington. So he was making his way out this way, and he went to Greenfield Village, and he actually stopped in our museum, wanted to see that. And so it was pretty, you know, it makes me happy when out-of-towners notice that we have a museum and our residents don't. But anyways, I think that turned out really well, and he was interested in everything we had, and he also wanted to see Horse Island. So he drove down to Horse Island because he wanted to see that and check out the bridge. So I think that was kind of exciting for somebody to come from Washington State to see that, but
It's really special.
whatever. There's more that, he was seeing a lot more than that, but I was excited about it. And that's it.
Thank you, Dorothy, for everything you and the team were doing. Any
Oh, I
questions?
wanted to say one more thing,
Yeah,
if you don't
please.
mind. I wanted to thank Chief Bruce for the computer that I got. I'm so excited about that, and it even has updated, like, Word and Excel and all these things on it that I didn't have. So thank you very much for that, Chief.
You're welcome.
Thank you, and well said all around. Any questions or comments for Councilwoman Wood? Councilman Cox, floor is yours.
No report.
Any questions for Councilman Cox? Councilman McNabb, floor is yours.
Short report. Wednesday, the old weed harvester will be pulled out. Thursday will be a maintenance day for it. And this week we'll be pulling the buoy channel markers out. And that's the only report I have at this point. Thank you.
Awesome. Any questions for Councilman McNabb? Councilman Molnar, floor is yours.
Yeah, I just have a question about, there was a property on Adams that yourself and the attorney had recommended that we grant to the property owner probably 6 weeks ago. What's the status of that?
Council we did not authorize it at that meeting, and I know it went back to the individual to leverage their pathway options. Treasurer Fonte, please keep me honest, because you were close to that too, please. I don't recall all the intimate details.
Yeah, we gave enough information, investigated. The property is ours. It was a quitclaim deed from the County of Wayne in a foreclosure. So it is ours. Whatever avenue the homeowner wants to take, he or she has the luxury of doing that. But the question remains, if it's our property, it's a council decision, I would assume, knowing that it's the city's property, to do something with it. And I'll leave it at that. Because right now, it's what you're questioning.
My biggest question is, did this make it to the tax rolls now? Or are we going to continue to let this?
It was brought up in the Plant Moran audit. That was another thing, because,
So, I mean, do you know, yes or no?
yeah,
I mean, do you know if it made it to our tax rolls now?
it was supposed to make it to our tax roll, so I can't say with 100% certainty.
And would it be, the mayor, do you know that?
I don't. I can check in with the assessor, though, tomorrow.
I mean, I would think that the assessor needs some direction from this administration, because the direction that this council got was, to recommend giving that property to them. And it was a good thing that we spoke up and we handled it.
Yeah, the assessor has that information. The assessor worked with me to look at the documents. It should be on our tax rolls.
I'll send a note to assessor first thing in the morning, just to clarify what the status is, and I'll send that to council once I get an answer.
Yeah, and I think we need to have a directive. If they, I mean, instead of just asking for a status, I mean, if the property is our property, it needs to be taxed.
It's been our.
Well, wait, I want to be clear. If it's, we don't tax our own property.
I'm sorry, yeah, you're right. If, I stand corrected. Yes. If, it needs to be on our, spreadsheet of properties owned. However, that's properly explained, the right terminology, I'm not sure of.
Okay, yeah. I will check in with the
Well,
assessor on status.
I think it is. I mean, the lot is described, it's, I mean, that's how the foreclosure took place. It was a separate lot. It's not a unified lot. So, it's the city's property. That's all I can tell you. And for that reason, if it's the city's property, council should make a determination what it's gonna do with it, whether it's gonna sell it, maintain it, or,
Well, can we put that on our agenda for our next meeting so that it doesn't get lost in, because I think a lot of these things we talk about at our meetings, if we don't put it back on the agenda for the next meeting, it just gets lost in space.
Yeah, I'll make sure we have an update for council on that.
Can we have, Katie, can we put that on our agenda for next meeting?
Yep.
Great.
I have
Any-
nothing else to report.
Any questions for Councilman Mueller? Councilman Walden?
No report.
Any questions for Councilman Walden? All right, Parks and Recreation Director, floor is yours.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I want to talk about the Fall Festival, which we have coming up on October 26th. So that's going to be from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. We're going to have food, music, hay rides. We're going to have a movie in the park immediately at 7. So it'll be activities from 3 to 7, and then the movie will start at 7. And that's going to be Hotel Transylvania. So for everyone that's watching and any kids watching, if you enjoy the movie, you know, come out and see it. Any parents want to bring the kids, it'll be a great time. Expect a flyer this week with more information, and hoping to see everybody out there.
Awesome, thank you.
One more thing I'd like to mention, not about the Fall Festival. I'm currently planning music in the park dates for next year. So if anyone listening has any bands they'd like to recommend, you can always stop in or shoot me an email, and I'm all ears to hear that.
I love it. And I know you are actively working with the commission members on planning for Christmas season, too.
Christmas, that is right.
Which is exciting that we are already
We're
approaching
actively
that time
planning.
of year. So just thank you to you and the commission for everything you're doing. And
Absolutely.
Fall Festival poster, I think you mentioned, should be up by tomorrow.
Yeah,
for the
by
community.
tomorrow.
Awesome.
All right.
Mayor, may I interject?
Yeah, please.
Austin, you and I and the committee have been talking about the rates and the facilities and all that. I don't know if it's appropriate or not. I feel it should be, but maybe to have a study session on what council wants to determine with the information that will proposed on rates, the facilities, the two facilities, the revenue versus costs, and moving forward on a path so that Austin's had 6 months or better now to settle in and look at how the two centers are populated with rentals, and the committee's looked at the revenue versus the cost on that. It's something that I don't want to take council's time right now, but I think it should be in a session to where we can give it enough of its time to actually look at it, drill down, and make some decisions before we go into the winter.
I love the suggestion. I know you all have been hard at work on that. My head goes to, since we have Rachel starting tomorrow, I want to make sure she's consulted on the matter, given
Right.
her positional oversight. So maybe we take that as the next step to bring her up to speed in her on-ramp, and then to council task on scheduling a study session or whatever method is able to
I think
get
that's a good
everybody informed.
timeline. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I think it's incumbent that something happens before winter time, before we put a lot of expense into a vacancy and heat and keep coverage on something that maybe needs to be shut down for the interim. So that's what the numbers show,
Yeah.
but that's not the decision council might make. So, like I said, that's just the facility discussion. There's a rental discussion on pricing and so on and so forth. So Yeah.
Great.
Okay.
Any questions for Parks and Recreation Director?
All right.
Thank you. Next, I'd like to turn over to our city attorney report. Do you have anything you'd like to share?
Nothing. Thank you.
All right. Anthony will be back this week, and will be obviously in this seat next to me for the following meetings. But thank you for being here representing.
Yes, sir.
And with that, the floor is to Finance Director McEwen before we get to DPW Director Son.
Appreciate you guys letting me go a little sooner. I don't know how long my cough medicine's gonna work here. So I think you guys received and filed the audit. So the next item is the first quarter budget revision. Attached, you have the adjustments. I did my usual highlighting things in different colors. In general fund, I had to adjust a few accounts to match what came in so far with the revenues. And then I adjusted a couple of expenses. We are pulling more from fund balance due to stormwater items. We have an additional officer on the pension, so the pension expense was a little higher than normal. And it's probably gonna carry going forward. We had the addition of a DPW director, Mr. John Sant, which wasn't originally budgeted, and other miscellaneous items, especially in buildings and grounds. At the end, our fund balance is listed, both currently and what we expect to have at the end of the year. We are still carrying a healthy fund balance, but I'm gonna caution any major expenditures that will hit general fund that have not been budgeted for already. For our other funds, for major, I adjusted our pavement repair and replacement, as well as what we are pulling from fund balance. John and I have been working really hard to figure out what we can do with what we have. He's been coming into my office and we've been going over items to see what we can work out in our current budget. So I appreciate John a lot. For DDA, I adjusted the 2023 DDA bond amount to reflect the amount that was left in our account as of August 31st, 2025. I've adjusted taxes to match the exact amounts to be pulled, and beautification is pulling in more revenue than was expected. So I have adjusted that as well. For water, I adjusted the Shuva look-back as well as operating expenses. I'm expecting the Shuva look-back to be a little higher than what I originally forecasted. I've also included the lead lines grant, which is another item that John and I have been working very closely on, and we've been getting reimbursements for.
Awesome.
Fund balance are listed at the end of general fund, major and motor and local motor vehicles, DDA, cable, and water. As always, if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, thoughts?
I have one. We got a note from Wayne County about our retention pond maintenance that we have not been current on reporting on for the last 5+ years or however many years it's been. Do we have any, how many?
6.
6.
That would be 32,000 that I put into general fund because it's sewer and stormwater, so it has to come out of general fund.
Okay.
So that was included on this revision.
So we're budgeting 32,000 for that?
Yes.
And where did we get those numbers from?
I think that's what we approved based on Benesh, what they told us.
Or, John, that's from Benesh as to what it costs to maintain our?
Oh, no, that's what we were, for the original findings of it.
To find them all.
To find them?
To find them all, yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
32,000 to find them?
Yeah, it was a not to exceed.
I understand, but do we have anything in the budget to maintain them to the level of expectations or requirements from the county?
That's gonna be determined by this investigation. So probably the answer to your question is, number one, the property owners are supposed to maintain them. It only falls back on the city if they don't do their obligation, and then we back charge accordingly. So,
How many of those are on private property versus city-owned property, if you know?
Well, we've got
I think there's
22 ponds.
20, right?
And we own 3 of them.
Yeah.
So the rest are on
So-
property owners.
So we have to budget something for that. Do we have a timeline from that requirement of the county, to anybody's knowledge?
Yeah, so when the director reached out to me, we brought in Banesh, council obviously authorized this, so I think we're in the phase of information capture and inventory taking, to your point. 3 of the 22 are city-owned. So Rob, to your point, yes, we will definitely have cost incurrence. I just don't know if it's all been defined enough to forecast that accurately. I don't know, Treasurer Fonte, John, if you have any.
You gotta go through and do a survey on them all. See how much sediment's in them, and if they're built according to plan. That's what they're working on right now.
So we obviously, we have to forecast something in the future to cover this, and it could be something that's relatively minor.
Right.
Probably seeing some of them firsthand, there's a couple of them that I know that are gonna be more than minor.
Yeah, well, you're looking at it like I'm looking at it. It's gonna take a contractor and excavation and so on and so forth. Most of those ponds are privately owned, and if notice is gonna have to be forwarded to them, and with all the rules and regulations, and they're gonna have to implement a start date and a completion date, and if those things aren't fulfilled, then the city's gonna have to take it upon themselves through a contractor to do that and back charge accordingly. That's gonna be quite a process, legally in every which way you could think of. So I can't recall offhand, John, unless you can, the 3 ponds that are in our ownership. Do you recall?
Yeah, we have 2 in Island Estates. And
And they're relatively small.
But they're hard to get to.
They're hard to get to, correct. So it's not gonna happen with our conventional equipment right, so.
we have the one up there on Jefferson and North Gibraltar Road.
Correct.
The one we spread millions around.
Right.
To the edge of, and hopefully that doesn't come back to be too much of a.
Yeah.
So all that sounds like stuff that might be hitting, probably, I'm guessing, given the scope of work and how long it might take to figure that out, either the mid-year, which will be in January, or your final, or your third quarter. So
Yeah, and
it'll be coming down the road.
Hopefully their office can get you that information as expediently as possible so that we can figure it into forecasting budgets. But thank you for everything you put together.
Any other questions or comments for Finance Director McEwen? You want to highlight what action you require from council?
I need a motion to approve the adjustments in the first quarter budget revision.
Council motion be your court for approval of revisions for 2025, 2026 first quarter budget. We have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
We have a motion by Cox. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Walden. Any further discussion on this matter? Clerk Tomasic will have you call roll.
Wood? Yes. Cox?
Yes.
McNabb?
Yes.
Mulnar?
Yes.
Schumate?
Yes.
Valentine?
Yes.
Walden?
Yes.
Motion carried. Finance Director McEwen, back to you.
I think my next item is a motion to receive and file the certificate of dissolution for the Gibraltar Community Foundation. I'm doing this to make sure that we have a paper trail and it's easy to locate in the future.
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Cox to receive and file. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Walden. For discussion purposes, Amy, thank you for spearheading this effort, and to the board members, both the public and council, thank you for going through this process to do the right thing. Any discussion or questions or comments for Finance Director McEwen further? And if not, Clerk Tomasic will have you call roll.
Cox?
Yes.
McNabb?
Yes.
Mulnar?
Yes.
Schumate?
Yes.
Valentine?
Yes.
Walden?
Yes.
Wood?
Yes.
Motion carried. Back to you.
And then my last item is a motion to receive and file the corrective action plan for the City of Gibraltar retiree medical plan. This is our only one that is not fully funded, therefore, the corrective action plan, I need to send them everything every 2 years. I gave you guys all of the information that I have to send to the state of Michigan to make sure that we are upholding our end of the bargain. And we are actually forecasted to be fully funded, or 40% funded, sooner than we originally forecasted, so that's good. I have the corrective action plan, the original motion. I think the last motion I had to receive and file it, the actuary evaluation and the 2025 funding projection all included in your packet. And this is kind of similar to how the 33rd District Court has you guys also approve it. It's transparency, making sure that you are letting the public know, hey, we're not fully funded, this is what we're doing to ensure that this liability, this obligation is being fulfilled.
Thank you. Council, motion be to court for receiving and filing the corrective action plan.
Motion to receive and file.
Motion by Walden, is there a second?
Second.
Second by McNabb. Any discussion? Well, just for the sake of numbers, since we're discussing it, the audit obviously presented a slide, and it was 119.94% funded for general employees, 122.77% for public safety officers, and then this one was 17.77%. So just for
Yeah.
numerical context, yes, and the path to 40 in the corrective action plan. So thank you, Amy.
Yeah, we're getting there slowly but surely.
Any
No,
discussion?
I have questions
Please.
for you.
Okay.
We didn't practice this, so this is, got you on the spot. The audit mentioned the purchasing policy, and there was somewhat of a little flaw with that. But if council remembers, we didn't even have a purchasing policy last year that was effective. So the auditors never even mentioned the purchasing policy. So the mistake that happened on the purchasing policy.
All right, Treasurer Fontaine, just because we're in the motion for the,
Oh,
we're in the motion right now, active
well,
motion
let me get
discussion.
out of the motion then.
Okay, yeah, so
Yeah.
we can get back to that, but I just want
Okay.
to keep it in context. This is for the corrective action plan for OPEB. Any discussion on that matter? Clerk Tomasic, if you call roll, then we can go into that topic.
Gotcha.
Thank you.
McNabb.
Yes.
Molnar.
Yes.
Schumate.
Yes.
Valentine.
Yes.
Walden.
Yes.
Wood.
Yes.
Cox.
Yep.
Motion carried. Back to you.
Okay. So we didn't have a purchasing policy last year, so it was never even brought up on the audit. Had that purchasing policy didn't exist, the issues that the accountants just talked about wouldn't even have been a talking point tonight. But since we now have, I'm trying to make some common sense out of this to show that the highlight of that, the flaw in the purchasing policy with two executions that weren't approved properly on the purchasing policy, but were approved by council. That happened through people that, or a person that should have known better on how to handle the purchasing policy. So basically, there's a mention of the purchasing policy on the auditor statement, but it amounts to about nothing, other than it's a noted mistake, and we've taken action on it. So my question to you is, how's the purchasing policy going, since we've enacted it now for 6 months?
We've been finding dents periodically, but we've been getting them worked out. Occasionally, we find something, and it's either caught by me, it's caught by you, it's caught by somebody along the way, and then we work together, we get together, and we figure out how to work it out. As you guys can see, we got A through M from Mr. Sant. He is very closely following our purchasing policy. Anything over $1,000, he is bringing to you guys. And with the final approval in accounts payable being me, a lot of times if I don't recall it coming to council, I will place a hold on it, and we'll let the department head know that, hey, you have to take this to council and get this approval. If it was something that already happened because it was emergency expenditure, you still just need to let council know and get the approval after the fact, and let them know, hey, this was an emergency, this is why I did that. But we've been following it. I think it's been getting better and better as we have progressed.
Thank you. And the things that you'll see on Director Zant's agenda tonight would be things that council wouldn't even have recognized last year or 6 months ago, because they would have been in a consent agenda, and it would have been approved that way. So there's been a little bit of, I've heard discussion that we're spending a lot of money. I want to say not really. It's just that you know about how it's being spent now, and you have eyes on it through the purchasing policy. So congratulations to council that enacted this and refined it back in August. And thank you, Amy, for pursuing it and being perseverant with it because it's a work in process and it's getting better each week and each
Yes.
month. So
Yep.
thank you.
I would say every single payroll, we've gotten better and better, and we've refined it more and more.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anything else from your end, Finance Director McEwen?
No,
Well, thanks for everything you're doing, appreciate it.
no problem.
With that, since we, if you recall, reordered that topic to allow Finance Director McEwen the floor, we are now going to pass it over to DPW Director Sant. Healthy agenda topics.
Yes. Okay, my first item is motion to approve the purchase of one 20-foot piece of 6-inch DR18 pipe, one 20-foot section of 8-inch, and one 20-foot section of 12-inch pipe from Ferguson Waterworks. This pipe is used for repairing the existing ductile iron water main when a section needs to be removed and replaced because of a break. Having this material on hand is necessary. Currently, we share a supply of the pipe with the Rockwood DPW and store it over in Rockwood. We would store our pipe over in the Cook Center. This would save us time on repairs, as we would not have to run to Rockwood every time, and don't want to run into where the case would be, we both need the same piece of pipe. So this would be implemented upon approval of council for the purchase. Fiscal impact is $1,649.19. And there's a quote from Ferguson attached.
Council motion your court for the purchase of the water main pipe as described in the amount of $1,649.19.
Motion to approve.
Motion by McNabb, do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Cox, any discussion on this matter? Clerk Tomasic, please call roll.
Mulnar?
Yes.
Schumate?
Yes.
Valentine?
Yes.
Walden?
Yes.
Wood?
Yes.
Cox?
Yes.
McNabb?
Yes.
Motion carried, back to you, John.
Okay, my second item is motion to approve the purchase of 36 5/8-inch Neptune water meters from Ferguson Waterworks. DPW has used up its current inventory of 5/8 Neptune water meters and need to replenish our inventory. Currently, there are 7 water meters needing to be replaced as the data cannot be received for billing purposes, or there are internal issues with the meters that prevent collecting readings. Ferguson is the only distributor in the state for Neptune meters. This would be implemented upon approval, of council approval of the purchase. Fiscal impact is $13,104.36. Attached is the Ferguson Waterworks quote.
Council motion would be in your court to approve the purchase of 36 Neptune water meters from Ferguson Waterworks.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Walden, do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Wood. Discussion, I know, John, we discussed, obviously, the partnership we have ongoing with Benesh.
Yes.
So Benesh has been consulted on this matter.
Yep.
I'm curious how did we come up with the quantity of 36?
We usually carry 24 on hand, and right now we've got, as of today, 8 to replace. So if we would have had our 24, 3/4 of the, we put a good dent in it. Today we had to go over to Rockwood and borrow 3. Because we had 3 meters to go take care of today.
Okay.
So, yeah, and I think I've made it clear, and I know others involved, really want to make sure we're systematic about this process with Benesh in the phase 2 kind of metered, unmetered usage initiative. I will say firsthand, speaking to somebody who gets to see a lot of the analytics that are coming out of Chelsea and you and the DPW department, there are definitely some meters that must be replaced immediately, right? So that's a glaring obvious need. So I'm going to trust the experts who know this space more than I do, because I don't have any expertise in this lane, to make sure we're good on numerics and pricing, and that Benesh has been consulted.
Yep.
I'm hearing that's all checked. Okay. And then Benesh can be consulted as it relates to the replacement strategy, meaning you're getting the
Right.
inventory on hand. Well, no, we're gonna need the inventory regardless.
Right.
We can't whack-a-mole on the meter replacement. We'll have Benesh, as far as the system goes.
Of how we want
guiding
to do it.
Okay.
Right.
That's the important parts to me.
Yep.
Okay. Any further discussion on this matter? Clerk Tomasic will have you call roll whenever you're ready.
Schumate?
Yes.
Valentine?
Yes.
Walden?
Yes.
Wood?
Yes.
Cox?
Yes.
McNabb?
Yes.
Mulnar?
Yes.
Motion carried. Back to you.
My next request is a motion to approve the purchase of repair clamps and couplings from Blue Water Solutions. These are the couplings that are used, couplings and clamps used to repair the water mains. We're restocking our current inventory with replacements that have been used throughout this year. Blue Water Solutions is a supplier of this item. This would be implemented upon council approval. And the items would be ordered. Fiscal impact is $4,126.81. And I've attached a quote from Blue Water Solutions.
Council, a motion is in your court to approve the purchase of repair clamps and couplings from Blue Water Solutions in the amount of $41,2680.
I'll make the motion to approve.
Don't know who you got first.
You're at McNabb.
McNabb first.
That's
would you-
louder.
Second.
Cox would like to second. Is there any discussion on this
Yes.
matter? Yep.
For the items that we don't have three bids, is that because they're the sole source?
Yeah, these are prices, these are companies that have municipal pricing that all the DPW directors go to.
Okay,
So it's, the prices are locked in.
okay.
You think two of each is gonna do it with our water main breaks, or should we get a dozen?
This will give
I'm
us,
just kidding.
to go with what we have right
All
now,
right.
a little bit of backup.
All right.
Just do this one.
Any further discussion on this matter?
Giving you a heart attack?
Yes. Clerk Tomasic, whenever you're ready, we'll have you call roll.
Valentine?
Yes.
Walden?
Yes.
Wood?
Yes.
Cox?
Yes.
McNabb?
Yes.
Mulnar?
Yes.
Schumate?
Yes. Motion carried. John, back to you.
Okay. The next motion is to approve the purchase of a new hot tap machine from USA Blue Book. Hot tap machine is used for tapping the existing water mains when a new service is installed or replacing the existing service if it is removed due to a water main break. Our existing hot tap machine that we have broke on the last hot tap that was being done. And we had to go over to Trenton, borrow their machine to finish the job. The new one we had, the existing one we have is over 25 years old. This would be implemented upon council approval. Fiscal impact, $3,158.51. And I've attached a quote from USA Blue Book for the machine and extra bits.
Council, motion be in your court to approve the purchase of a new hot tap machine from USA Blue Book in the amount of $31,5851. Do we have a motion from council on this?
I'll make the motion for the
We
hot
have a
tap.
motion by McNabb. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Wood. Any discussion on this matter?
John, do you know how old, you said the current one we have is over 25 years old?
Yeah.
Is that, that sounds like how long they might last? Is this something that, you have any idea on the longevity of these things, should our new one last another 25 years?
It should, because the bits are a lot different now,
Okay,
okay?
thank you.
The bits we have, I had to take to a machine shop to have them sharpened. Okay? And they've struggled with it lately,
Okay.
okay? So this hopefully make their life a little easier.
Is there a remaining value to the old one?
No.
Shattered?
Yeah, it's worn out where the locking device is,
Okay.
okay? You have to see how you have to operate this thing, and they thought they were making a tap on the last one. There was a machine giving out on them.
Okay. As the pressure, reverse pressure?
Yep.
Okay.
Any further discussion on this matter? Clerk Tomasic, we'll have you call roll whenever you're ready.
Walden?
Yes.
Wood?
Yes.
Cox?
Yes.
McNabb?
Yes.
Mulnar?
Yes.
Schumate?
Yes.
Valentine?
Yes.
John, back to you.
Okay. My next motion is motion to approve the purchase of some signposts, base posts, and rivets. Our inventory of signposts and post bases and rivets needs to be restocked. Econo Signs is where we've ordered our signs and supplies from. We do try to reuse the existing signposts if it's not damaged, but the base sections are not reusable. We implement this upon council's approval. Items would be ordered. Fiscal impact is $2,489.
Council motions in your court to approve the signposts, base posts, and rivets in the amount of $24.89. Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve.
We have a motion by Walden. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by McNabb. Any discussion on this matter, council? Clerk Tomasic will have you call roll whenever you are ready.
Wood,
Yes.
Cox,
Yes.
McNabb,
Yes.
Mulner,
Yes.
Schumate,
Yes.
Valentine.
Yes.
Walden.
Yes.
Motion carried. John, back to you.
Okay. Next motion is motion to approve the quote from Enterprise Fleet Services for an 8'6" V-blade plow. The 2025 Chevy pickup, which we ordered and are leasing from Enterprise, came with a 7'6" straight plow and is for a 1500 series truck. It should have been 8'6" when it was ordered. Enterprise has finally found a supplier, Canfield Equipment, who will take the straight blade back and credit that value towards the V-blade plow. So we only have to pay for the upgrade charge. Implement this upon council approval. Fiscal impact is $2,379. And I've attached a quote from Canfield Equipment to Enterprise.
Council motions in your court to approve the quote from Enterprise Fleet Services for this V-blade plow in the amount of $23.79. Do we have a motion from council?
I'll make the motion.
We have a motion from Wood. Do we have a second?
I'll second the plow.
Second by McNabb. Any discussion on this matter, council?
Do we have any idea how much Canfield Equipment's going to give us credit for the one we're turning back in?
They're giving us full credit and we're paying the difference of,
Yeah.
Okay, so,
between the plows.
all right,
Okay, if
okay, I got you.
if it would have all been ordered, at the time when the truck was ordered, if the V-plow would have been specified with it, you would have been paying the $23.79 then.
My question was going to be what, I don't remember what the specs are on that. Was it specified as a 7'6" plow that we were receiving when we ordered that truck?
That's what I was told. How it was specified, who did all this, I'm not sure, okay? But it's a straight blade plow, which is useless.
Did we receive it from Enterprise? Is that where we got it from initially?
Truck came from Enterprise.
And they sent it with the 7.6 plow?
Yeah, because
I
they said
should
that's what was
clarify.
on the order sheet.
Councilman Molnar.
Chief Scott.
Originally, we ordered a 1,500, and DPW requested a 2,500, so I can see where the mix-up, so they ordered it for the 1,500. It was overlooked by Enterprise. Sorry to interrupt.
No, thank you for the context. Appreciate that. Council, any further discussion on this matter? Clerk Tomasic will have you call roll whenever you're ready.
Cox,
Yes.
McNabb,
Yes.
Mulner.
Yes.
Schumate,
Yes.
Valentine.
Yes.
Walden.
Yes.
Wood.
Yes.
Motion carried. John, back to you.
The next motion is to approve, motion to approve the invoice from Expert Mechanical Service. Existing furnaces have the vents which go through the roof, and one was located in the valley of the roof. It needed to be relocated along with removing the stacked vent caps so that the new roof could be installed, so the flashings could be installed. Stack caps, along with the vent tubes, had to be replaced as they were glued together when the building was built. The new vent cap is removable to allow for cleaning of the vent and intakes. The work is complete. The cost is $2,777.60. This would come out of the roofing budget we had for a re-roof, and I've attached Expert Mechanical's invoice and work description.
Thank you for all the context. Council motion be in your court to approve the invoice from Expert Mechanical Service in the amount of $2777.60.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by McNabb. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by
We're gonna,
Cox.
we're gonna add this 2,777 to the grant money, though, that's gonna pay for it.
Right.
Okay. Bond money. All right.
And the good news is that there was about 40K in savings on that roof project to begin with.
Yes.
Great.
All right.
We're in discussion. Any further discussion on this matter? Clerk Tomasic, will have you call roll whenever you're ready.
McNabb.
Yes.
Mulnar.
Yes.
Schumate.
Yes.
Valentine.
Yes.
Walden.
Yes.
Wood.
Yes.
Cox.
Yeah.
Motion carried. John, back to you.
Okay, my next motion is motion to approve the invoice from Michigan Cat. This was for the repairs of the Cat 416 backhoe that is used as a backup piece of equipment and is used for salt loading during the winter. The dipstick had rotted away from the oil pan, putting the equipment out of order. The repair required a new oil pan to be installed. With the machine being older and used for salt loading, the existing bolts had corroded, and the majority of the bolts that had to be removed were corroded and had to be replaced. In fact, he spent hours just trying to drill them out because they snapped on him. The work was completed on site and is complete. Repair costs came in below the original estimate, so implement schedule immediately upon council approval. Fiscal impact was $4,366.84. I've attached the CAT invoice, and also attached are the estimates.
Council motion in your court to approve the invoice from Michigan Cat in the amount of $43,66.84.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Walden. Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Second from McNabb. Council, any discussion on this matter?
It's a lot of work.
It was.
A lot of work.
A lot of work.
And it was done right here on site, so.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Clerk Tomasic, will have you call roll whenever you're ready.
Mulnar.
Yes.
Schumate.
Yes.
Valentine.
Yes.
Walden.
Yes.
Wood. Yes. Cox.
Yes.
McNabb.
Yes.
Motion carried. John, back to you. I told you the agenda was healthy.
Yep. Okay, my next motion is motion to approve the quote from True North Land Surveying Incorporated. True North Land Surveying will be used to locate the easterly property line at 30718 Adams to determine if the tree is on the owner's property or in easement. The tree is over an existing water service to the house and is a lead line which will be replaced. The tree also hangs over the road. A tree arborist will inspect the tree once the survey is completed to determine the health of the tree. Implementation schedule upon approval, fiscal impact $1,500. And I've attached True North surveying quote and description of work.
Council motion be in your court to approve the quote from True North Land Surveying in the amount of $1,500.
I'll make that motion.
Let's see who was first. Who'd you get first, Clerk Tomasic?
Yeah, Councilman Cox.
We got Cox first.
And who was the second?
I heard McNabb come in. Would you like to second that?
Second, yeah.
Council, any discussion on this matter?
Wasn't this tree, we had quotes to take this tree out a year ago. We had a quote to take a tree out on Adams and a quote to take a tree out on Gerald Street. This was a year ago. I don't understand how it's just coming up that this tree's just now getting cut down. I don't think we went through with those quotes, or that never made it.
So what had happened was both were approved. The tree that was on Gerald Delaverne, it was taken down.
Right.
Little Monster came out to look at that tree on Adams, and they had quoted the tree on the other side of the property.
Oh, okay, all right.
So they said they were gonna come back and re-quote, and they never did.
That was the reference discussion earlier.
That's what happened to that, all right.
And then per the discussion, obviously in public comment, this goal was to put data via a survey behind the topic to make sure there was no subjectivity in the dialogue so that we could follow up with the property owner accordingly.
Very good.
Any further discussion on this matter? Clerk Tomasic will have you call roll whenever you're ready.
Schumate.
Yes.
Valentine.
Yes.
Walden.
Yes.
Wood.
Yes.
Cox.
Yes.
McNabb.
Yes.
Mulnar.
Yes.
Motion carried. John, back to you.
Okay, my next one is motion to approve the purchase of 2 rear tires for the Cat 420 backhoe from Pomp's Tire Service. Existing rear tires on the backhoe are needing to be replaced. One tire has a cut in the sidewall and the treads are getting worn. This machine is used almost daily and is driven to all of its work locations, not trailered. Cost includes installation in the field and tire disposal. The schedule for this would be upon council's approval. Items will be ordered. Fiscal impact, $2,547.26. And I've attached Pomp's quote.
Council motion your court to approve the purchase of 2 rear tires for the Cat backhoe from Pomp's Tire Service in the amount of $25,4726.
I'll make that motion.
Got a motion by McNabb. Do we have a second?
Second.
Heard a second by Cox. Council, any discussion on this matter?
That's a pretty good price.
It's a good price.
Yeah.
Any further discussion on this matter? Clerk Tomasic, please call roll.
Valentine?
Yes.
Walden?
Yes.
Wood?
Yes.
Cox?
Yes.
McNabb?
Yes.
Mulnar?
Yes.
Schumate?
Yes. Motion carried. John, back to you.
Okay, my next motion is to approve the quote from USA Blue Book for a new 2-inch Honda trash pump. DPW is requesting to purchase a new 2-inch trash pump for water repair. For the water repair truck. The existing 2-inch dewatering pump cannot pump out the heavy solids that are encountered on water main repairs. And the pump's getting worn out from pumping the grit in the materials encountered over the years. This would be, the schedule for this is upon approval. Cost is $1,703.01. Quote from USA Blue Book is included.
Council motion be in your court to approve the quote from USA Blue Book for a 2-inch Honda trash pump in the amount of $1703.01.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Walden. Do we have a second? Any second from council?
Second.
Second by Cox. Any discussion on this matter? Clerk Tomasic will have you call roll whenever you're ready.
Walden?
Yes.
Wood?
Yes.
Cox?
Yes.
McNabb?
Yes.
Mulnar?
Yes.
Schumate?
Yes.
Valentine?
Yes.
Motion carried. John, back to you.
Okay, my next motion is concrete replacement repairs to major and local roads. Work is planned on some of the major and local roads this month. This work will consist of replacing some pavement sections on Bayview, which is a major road, along with pavement and catch basin work on Mar, White, Humbug Island Court, Headkey Court. No work has been done on these roads for 3 years except minor patching. Areas have been identified and have completed a takeoff, and GV Cement will be doing the work on unit prices from the City of Rockwood project. I've talked with finance and the mayor, and the funds are available for this work. I've also talked with Rick Cox on the work scope and possible changes to areas if we run into unforeseen conditions. Schedule for this is immediately. Fiscal impact is about $42,000 from local roads and $65,000 from major roads. And I've attached the
Thank you.
repair areas.
This has been dissected immensely, but let's focus on the motion first. So we look for a motion to approve concrete replacements / repairs to major and local roads up to $65,000. Is there a motion?
Well, I want to make a motion, but there's local of 42,000 and major of 65,000, so I would.
I was going to take them each one, so yeah, sorry, and I should specify that. We maybe start with that, or do you want to do a bundle motion?
Well, as he's requesting the motion, I was going to, that's how I was going to frame it.
You okay with a bundle motion per your request?
Yeah.
All right.
Make the motion to approve the recommended concrete replacements and repairs to major and local roads as outlined by the DPW director.
Second.
Second by Molnar. Any discussion on this matter?
Yes, sir. Now, this does not include sidewalk replacements at all?
Sidewalk replacements are gonna be done on South Jib, Navarre, and up by,
I guess
The
my
school.
question, my sidewalk is in very bad shape. It needs to be replaced. Is there any way I could get my sidewalk replaced through GV Cement, and then they charge me on my taxes?
Favor system.
That's what I'm trying to ask.
I'll get with them tomorrow and then I'll come by and see you.
Okay.
Just send me the bill, I'll take care of it, Pat.
What's that?
Just send me the bill, I'll take care of it.
Did you, Bill?
Just to focus on the topic at hand, so, sounds like, John can follow up with you on pricing related to that vendor, right, for your own personal pursuit of that. Separately though, just for context, I just want to thank Councilman Cox for working on this project, closely with John, and John, you put an immense amount of work, and Amy, thank you for unlocking the funds on it. I know this has been dissected immensely, and we got to get to work, especially with the seasonality consideration, so just thank you. Is there any
John's done all the work.
He really
John's
has.
done all the work.
I started today out here.
It's exciting to see the progress on those areas and much-needed areas of improvement. Any further discussion on this matter? All right, Clerk Tomasic, we'll have you call roll whenever you're ready.
Wood?
Yes.
Cox?
Yes.
McNabb?
Yes.
Mulnar?
Yes.
Schumate?
Yes.
Valentine?
Yes.
Walden?
Yes.
Motion carried, and it's now to your last
My
item.
last item. Motion to approve the purchase of 50 curb boxes from East Jordan Iron Works. History is curb boxes are for the water valve supplying the houses. DPW inventory is down to 4 curb boxes right now. And they've been replacing damaged ones and will be replacing ones when we are doing the additional lead survey work. Schedule for this is upon council approval. Fiscal impact is $3,243, and I've attached East Jordan Works quote.
Council motion being in your court to approve the curb boxes. Purchase of 50 of them to be exact.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Did you get both those?
Yes.
All right, discussion? Clerk Tomasic, please call roll whenever you're ready.
Cox?
Yes.
McNabb?
Yes.
Mulnar?
Yes.
Schumate?
Yes.
Valentine?
Yes.
Walden?
Yes.
Wood?
Yes.
Well, John, you took it to another letter
Yep.
in the alphabet
Yeah, I
today.
see that.
Thank you for all the work you're doing.
Thank you for
The bar is high when you're thinking about agenda letters you could
getting
hit.
everything approved tonight.
No, thank you for bringing it. With that being said, I'd love to see if there's any questions for John. And if not, I'd love to turn over the floor to Clerk Tomasic.
Well, one thing, I've tried to update the board back
Yeah.
there some.
Yeah, looks good.
I love you for doing that. It looks great.
Thank you.
Clerk Tomasic, the floor is yours.
Thank you. I have just a few things tonight. First item on the agenda, I'm looking for a motion to approve the payment of invoice number 9325 from the Flat Rock Public Library for the 2024-2025 library use fees in the amount of $10,262.58. City of Gibraltar is in an agreement with the Flat Rock Public Library since 2018. Gibraltar residents may register for library privileges with the Flat Rock Library at no cost to the resident. However, the library then sends an annual bill to the City of Gibraltar to cover those costs for each of the borrowers per the terms of the contract, the agreement. So again, it's $10,262.58, and it is a budgeted item.
Council motion to authorize the payment to Flat Rock Public Library for the 24-25 library use fees.
I'll make the motion.
We have a motion by Wood. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Valentine. Council, any discussion on this matter?
So this goes based off the census, and they bill off of how many people are in the city rather than people that are actually using the library?
No, it's by users.
Okay.
People who have registered for a library card within the last year. So there was 224 users this past year.
Okay.
Yeah, they send me all the applications, so yeah, we reconciled, make sure it was correct.
Any further discussion on this matter? Clerk Tomasic, will have you call roll whenever you're ready.
McNabb?
Yes.
Mulnar?
Yes.
Schumate?
Yes.
Valentine?
Yes.
Walden?
Yes.
Wood?
Yes.
Cox?
Yes.
Motion carried. Back to you.
All right, thank you. I do have an announcement. I'm glad to see that pretty much all of our candidates are here, so I can tell council, candidates, residents all at once. I attended a Wayne County Clerks Association meeting last week, and we were informed that due to recent changes in Michigan election law, the certification of the upcoming election is going to take 14 days. The election law changes include allowing an additional 6 days for both signature cures on absentee ballots, as well as for the receipt and counting of military and overseas civilian ballots. Our city charter currently states that newly elected officials are to be sworn in on the Monday following the local election. However, these election law changes make it physically impossible for the Wayne County Board of Canvassers to certify the election by that date. And we can't swear in newly elected officials until the election has been certified. I just want to let everyone know I've reached out to City Attorney Bologna for direction on how to address this timeline in relation to our charter language. I'm awaiting his guidance, and I hope to bring a recommendation back at our next meeting for consideration. But just in the meantime, I wanted to make sure everyone is in the loop and is aware, and just let everyone know that this matter is being considered.
Thank you so much, Clerk Tomasic. Any questions for Clerk Tomasic?
Any questions on that? And then just a couple reminders on that. We have our upcoming local election coming up on November 4th. Polls will be open November 4th from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. Early voting for that election, we'll have 3 days of early voting at the community center. Thursday, October 30th from 11 to 7. Friday, October 31st from 8:30 to 4:30, and Saturday, November 1st from 8:30 to 4:30. So those are 3 days of early voting. Everyone is welcome, if they needed, their absentee ballots are available, no reason needed. So if you need an absentee ballot, contact our office, and then Election Day, November 4th. And then lastly, we have our Shred Day, annual Shred Day, and Electronic Recycle Day is this Saturday, October 18th from 10 to 12 in the parking lot out front. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Clerk Tomasic. Any questions for Clerk Tomasic? All right, this time we'll turn over to Treasurer Fonte.
Quickly, Mayor and Council, I'll be working with Rachel shortly, once she gets settled down on the RFP for engineering and janitorial services. So I'll get it prepared, I'll hand it over to you and for your final review and corrections, and we'll go from there. Okay?
Thank you, sir.
That's it for me.
Appreciate it. Any questions for Treasurer Fonte? All right, since we already brought Finance Director McEwen's report up, we will turn over to Police Chief and Public Safety Director Bullard.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and Council. Since the last council meeting, the police department has responded to 220 calls for service, had 36 incident reports, 3 arrests, 29 traffic citations, 2 motor carrier violations, and 5 Detective Bureau investigations. Under Gibraltar Police Department news, the new live scan machine and Windows 11 computer was installed and it's operational in the booking room. 5 police department computer towers were ordered, and ETS has been on scene Friday and today getting them installed. He's got a few more days to go. Also, ETS, I keep talking about server room, installed a new switch cabinet in the server room, as well as the new Avigilon NVR recorder and a couple computer towers. I'm really close to wrapping up, cleaning up the mess or disaster down in the server room. Actron Systems, they're hoping to wrap up on the camera systems by the end of the week. They already started at the community center, and they're hoping to wrap up the DPW. Also, I drafted Department Policy 200-27 on motor carrier enforcement. Officer Jacob Bates is in his process of shadowing local motor carrier officers as part of his training. The All Traffic Solutions Report. We conducted a study, which was for 4 weeks, north and southbound Bayview at Gerald, and then Bayview and Addison. The study indicated that less than 1% of vehicles exceeded the speed limit from 6 to 10 miles an hour, 11 to 15, 16 to 20, 21 to 25, and 26 to 30 in both directions. In light of the study, no further action will be taken besides enforcement as needed. The All Traffic Solutions sign has now been moved onto West Jefferson Avenue in front of Carlson High School. Included in my packet is the records clerk report, the ordinance officer report, and I do have 4 action items. Action item A, the Gibraltar Fire Department did not have a standard operating guideline for assigning employees to special events and services. Chief Simon and I drafted a joint policy defining such special services and events, which was reviewed by the mayor, Amy McGowan, the city treasurer, and city attorney. Having a specific set of guidelines and department policies for the fire department will clearly define operating procedures so there is no confusion moving forward. In the drafted policy in your packets, there's also a specific City of Gibraltar events and services, Gibraltar Schools events, training, station duties, which are all defined. For non-city events and services which is defined in this policy, the City Council holds final approval. Reimbursement for the non-city events and services may be sought if requested by council. The code for the special events and services is in the pay scheduling software at a rate of $15 an hour. I'm requesting from council to approve the fire department special events and services policy 15-20.
Council motion being in court to approve Fire Department Special Events and Services Policy 1520. Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Valentine. Council, any discussion on this matter? I just want to thank you, Chief. Thanks to Fire Chief Simon and all the parties that came together to make this possible. Clerk Tomasic will have you call roll whenever you are ready.
Mulnar.
Yes.
Schumate.
Yes.
Valentine.
Yes.
Walden.
Yes.
Wood.
Yes.
Cox.
Yes.
McNabb.
Yes.
Motion carried. Chief, back to you.
Thank you. The police department switched to TASER 10s in 2024. Our department currently has 8 old TASER X2s, 5 right-handed holsters, 4 left-handed holsters, 3 new batteries, 8 used batteries, 47 live cartridges, and 16 training cartridges. Our department has no use for the weapon as TASER X2s are no longer manufactured by Axon, which officially discontinued the product. Axon will also stop supporting the X2s at the end of 2029. Sub-agencies still utilize the weapon, and I would like to post or surplus all of our X2s and equipment on the Michigan Association of Chiefs of Police website, as I am a member. Frequently, police departments all over Michigan post surplus equipment for sale or donation on the association's website. If approved by council, I will donate the equipment to the first police department who responds to my post. I'm requesting a motion from council to post and donate 8 TASER X2s and accessories on the Michigan Association of Chiefs of Police website.
Council, that motion would be in your court.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by McNabb. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Wood. Council, any discussion on this matter? Clerk Tomasic, do you have that?
Yes.
We'll have you call roll whenever you're ready.
Schumate.
Yes.
Valentine.
Yes.
Walden.
Yes.
Wood.
Yes.
Cox.
Yes.
McNabb.
Yes.
Mulnar.
Yes.
Motion carried. Chief, back to you.
Thank you. On September 19th, 2025, Clerk Tomasic, Chelsea, Brad, and I inventoried all the used and out-of-date and damaged city electronics. I began compiling all the equipment for several years, and I've been storing them in the basement. In summary, the equipment consists of old computer towers, TVs, computer monitors, computer cords, tablets, cell phones, and other miscellaneous equipment. Clerk Tomasic scheduled a recycling and electronics disposal day on October 18th. I will also need DPW's assistance to bring the equipment upstairs on the day of the disposal if approved by council. I am requesting a motion from council to dispose of old municipal building electronics on October 18th, 2025.
Council motion will be in your court to dispose of old municipal electronics.
Make the motion.
We have a motion by McNabb. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Wood. Chief and Chelsea and all the parties you mentioned have put a lot of work into this, and so I appreciate that. And obviously been consulting with all the applicable parties, including our ETS partners. Thank you. Any further discussion? Clerk Tomasic will have you call roll whenever you are ready.
Valentine.
Yes.
Walden.
Yes.
Wood.
Yes.
Cox.
Yes.
McNabb.
Yes.
Mulnar.
Yes.
Schumate.
Yes. Motion carried. Chief, back to you.
Thank you. Action item D. The Gibraltar Police Department, prior to 2024, has never sent a police officer with this agency to the Michigan Staff and Command Program at Eastern. Lieutenant Trush was the first officer on this department to attend the program and graduated of 2024. I had the privilege, once appointed as the Director of Public Safety, to enroll Detective Sergeant Robinson in the program and he will be graduating October 17th, 2025. Both Lieutenant Trush and Detective Sergeant Robinson expressed their highest interest in me attending the class. Both officers indicated that this will enhance my operational methods, strategic thinking, innovative problem solving, and will further my management skills. I received the application from Lieutenant Trush via email on 9/23, and the deadline was October 3rd. I spoke with the mayor on 9/26 and received verbal approval to apply for the program. Pending council approval, I'd like the opportunity to attend the program. The cost of the program is $3,500, but I will apply for the first responder grant, and it'll be at no cost to the city. I am requesting a motion from council for Chief Bullard to attend the Eastern Michigan University's Staff and Command Executive Leadership Program in 2026 in the amount of $3,500.
Council motion will be in your court.
Motion to approve Chief Bullard to attend the EMU's Staff and Command Executive Program at a cost of $3,500?
2,500.
Yeah.
Motion by Valentine, is there a second?
Second.
Ladies first.
Got it.
Incredibly well-deserved, incredibly excited for you, fully support.
Thank you.
Thank you for focusing on your broader training, education, and empowerment for your people and across your department. Council, any questions, comments, discussion items?
Two things. Oh, sorry, go ahead, Pat.
Oh.
So two things. Firstly, I just appreciate the recognition that even at a higher leadership level, you still want to go and get further training. That's commendable. My question is this class strictly for police officers, or can the fire personnel?
Police and fire.
Okay.
There's a staff and command for the fire department officers as well.
So is this something that we could consider maybe sending?
Absolutely.
Yeah, okay, all right, you see where I'm going with it. All right, that's all.
And Rachel, we're trying to get ahead of the ball, so as you come into your job, we've already discussed operational coverage considerations for your consideration as you enter the path. Absolutely. Council, any further discussion on this matter? Clerk Tomasic, have you call roll?
Walden.
Yes.
Wood.
Yes.
Cox.
Yes.
McNabb.
Yes.
Molnar.
Yes.
Excuse me. Schumate.
Yes.
Valentine.
Yes.
Motion carried. Excited for you.
Thank you.
Floor is back to you. I know that's the last two reactions. Anything else?
End of my report. Thank you, Mr. Mayor and Council.
Awesome. Any questions for Chief? All right, Fire Chief Simon, patiently waiting for the last report on the agenda. Floor is yours.
I only have all the way through X for my action items.
Yes.
Only kidding, I've just got the one tonight. But I'll start off with an overview of our run numbers. So for our 21-day reporting period of 9/18 to 10/8, we had 25 calls for service, 21 of which were EMS and 4 fire. During that time frame, we had 2 mutual aids, 2 Rockwood, 2 auto aids, 1 to Rockwood, 1 to Huron Township, 2 mutual aids from Rockwood, and then 1 auto aid to Gibraltar. You've got the other run numbers in front of you. Other highlights, we did have our open house, which was a huge success. Our firefighters had a great time preparing for and then executing the open house. Just getting to see the kids and the other community members and engaging and talking about public education and safety was fantastic for us. So kudos to the team for making that happen. Thank you to Huron Township Fire Department for loaning us their smoke trailer so we could have another prop for the kids to go through and learn about fire safety and smoke and things like that. We're very appreciative for that partnership. Scrolling down to my action items and communications, I do have one communication for the disposition of some obsolete SCBA bottles. As we were cleaning up and preparing for the open house, we noted that we had a surplus of aluminum self-contained breathing apparatus, or SCBA bottles, that have been outdated for years. We've been storing them for some time. They don't fit with our packs. As we were cleaning up, I authorized the team to take the bottles to Downriver Scrap Iron and Metal Company in Wyandotte, which is the same facility DPW uses for their scrap surplus. To keep those bottles on hand would have cost us $4,800 for hydrostatic testing. It's a test that we're required to have to keep those bottles in service. Because they don't fit with our packs, and due to the cost, which would have, for 60 bottles, would have been approximately $4,800. Again, I made the decision to send those out for scrap. I had notified Chief Bullard that I was taking this action, but it was an oversight on my part as a procedural issue that I should have brought it to council for approval prior to sending that out. So we will be fixing that in the future. In the meantime, those bottles were disposed of, and we should be receiving a check for approximately $1,000.
I really appreciate that. Thank you. Council, do you want to do a motion to receive and file, or do you want to just acknowledge that as a verbal acknowledgement?
I'll make a motion to approve the disposition of the obsolete SCBA bottles.
Second.
Okay, we are in discussion now. Any discussion on that matter? Clerk Tomasic will have you call roll.
Cox?
Yes.
McNabb?
Yes.
Mulner?
Yes.
Schumate?
Yes.
Valentine?
Yes.
Walden?
Yes.
Wood?
Yes.
Fire Chief Simon, back to you. Motion carried.
All right, thank you. My action item is a proposed action for the payment of Lexipol invoice for Fire Rescue One Academy for fire and EMS continuing education. This covers both PD and FD. This invoice was dated 10/1 in the amount of $2,068.83 for our annual subscription for the period of 11/1/2025 to 10/31 of 2026. This is, again, the platform we use for our continuing education. This is a renewal. This fulfills all of our licensing requirements and training requirements for the state of Michigan. Again, the amount is $2,068.83, and I've attached the invoice. This would be coming out of education schools and is currently budgeted.
Council, motion being in court to approve the payment of Lexipol invoice for Fire Rescue One Academy Fire and EMS continuous education.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Walden. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Wood. Council, any discussion on this matter? Clerk Tomasic, please call roll.
McNabb?
Yes.
Mulner?
Yes.
Schumate?
Yes.
Valentine?
Yes.
Walden?
Yes.
Wood?
Yes.
Cox?
Yes.
Motion carried. Fire Chief Simon, back to you.
That concludes my report.
Thank you again for the study session this evening, to all the members that were there for that, and echoed on the open house sentiment. That was awesome. If there's no further questions or comments for Fire Chief Simon, unfinished business, we do not have any. New business, we do not have any. Table and refer items, we do not have any. So, public, the floor is yours. Is there any members of public that wish to address council, please?
A quick statement. It's a shame.
Name and address, sorry.
David Reiser, 14368 Stowfoot Street, Revolta. It's a shame that citizens come up here and make a statement and listen and not interrupt, but get interrupted when they make another statement. It's a really shame that that happens at this council table. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor, council members, and chiefs. My name is Dawn Johnson. On behalf of Wayne County Sheriff's Department, I want to introduce myself, the Community Engagement Liaison. If you need any resources or anything from the Wayne County Sheriff's Department, I am at your disposal. I already shared my business card with your Director of Parks and Recs. If you guys have any large-scale events, you need reserves, you want the horses out, or if you need any additional help from the Sheriff's Department, I'm just a phone call away.
Really appreciate you for being here. Thank you so much.
Any questions on behalf of the Sheriff's Department? No? Okay, thank you.
I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. And Chief, you're connected there, I'm assuming? All right.
Good evening, Dennis Bosmer, 29775 Point Drive. Pretty excited, this is our last blood drive this fall. The American Red Cross is coming back to our city. We're gonna collect pints of blood for those in need. There's a great need for that. I think it's every 3 minutes blood's needed, if it's not, maybe even sooner. So redcross.org, make an appointment, bosmer@me.com, contact me. I can make an appointment for you, I'd love to help you. Let's make this a great drive for the end of the year, November 14th, the old Talbot Community Center, 10:30 a.m. until 4:30 p.m. I think the morning part, thankfully, is full, but after, right around noontime, we have openings up until 4:30. I think that covers it. Friday, November 14th, 10:30 to 4:30. Yeah, please consider doing that if you can. If you don't know if you can give blood, shoot me an email. I can get the answer for you, or you can contact Red Cross. Even people that had cancer, a lot of people think that they're forever not able to give. That's not true. I think it's a year after treatment. If the person's healthy, there's no chemo, they can get blood. People that are on insulin can get blood. So a lot of misnomers out there, a lot of misinformation maybe, but they've changed some of the rules too, because the need is great, and this, I think 33% of the population give, or can give, and maybe 3% give, something like that. I get the statistics, status right, so. Yeah, bosmer@me.com or redcross.org to make the appointment. Thanks.
Thank you so much. Are there any additional members of public that wish to address council this evening?
Yes, I'd like to say something.
Please.
During the September 22, 2025 council meeting, Mr. Dix, in my opinion, seemed to indicate that I was making up stories concerning his character. Quite simply, I was only trying to allude to the fact that there are allegations of inappropriate comments made by Mr. Dix toward a female employee, and because of those alleged comments, it was my opinion that he should not be representing the city of Gibraltar in any committee or have any position with the city of Gibraltar. Councilman Molnar also had some unkind comments directed toward me. I have a police report, 2024-01407, dated 4/26/24, where the employee that the inappropriate comments and gestures was directed to, and 2 witness statements overheard the comments, confirmed my allegations. I find it irresponsible that members of this council condone that behavior, but that is what we have come to these days. I hope the residents of Gibraltar remember these actions in 2 years when they want to get reelected. I have to defend myself.
Any members of public that wish to address council before we close this public comment?
Tracy Garrett, 30624 Bayview. Just to Mr. Sant, I know we've heard in the past from Mr. Fonte about having like an inventory list available for stop signs or whatever we have at DPW. Is that currently being upheld?
Working on it.
Good.
Okay.
Yeah, just so things just don't disappear.
Yeah.
Just another quick comment about this $77,000 amount we keep hearing. I just wonder, you know, we've had, it's been credit card misuse. It's a whole lot taxpayer or time card issues. People employee going to a store and just going ahead and purchasing items without having anything approved. I'm just sitting in my chair here befuddled that anyone would have an issue with $77,000 and not, like, holding people accountable, right? And not getting down to why this is happening. I can't imagine working in an environment that somebody can just misuse credit cards for dog food, barbecue grills, and knowing no one's been held accountable for years. For years, this seems to has happened. Sorry, I just had no plans on speaking tonight, so I don't have anything written down, but it's just a big, it's a concern that we've had people here, sitting up here in the past and have not done anything. It's super concerning, and now we're to the point where we've had to invest $77,000 to fix those mistakes because no one was doing any type of oversight. It's a shame.
Thank you. Any additional members of public that wish to address council this evening?
I'm just, sorry, Deborah Dene, 30718 Adams. I'm a little confused about the 3-year. That's the first time I've heard that. My tree's been on the chopping block for 3 years. Now I'm wondering if it's such a safety hazard, why it's taken this long to get anything taken care of. That doesn't make sense to me. I also have pictures, Mr. McNabb, I believe this is your house and your trees that hang over the road. Are we cutting your trees down too because they hang over the road?
They're actually gonna get trimmed, yeah, we'll take that.
Okay, and, I mean, I have a lot of pictures of trees hanging over the road. Are they all going, or has mine just been singled out? I'm really confused, I'm not getting it. There's a tree farther down Adams that hangs over the road way more than mine does. Is that one on the block too? I'm not getting it.
I think it'd be inappropriate to speculate on wide trees right now and.
So I
without
would
any-
like some additional information. I'm gonna send you an email out regarding the
please do.
things that I want, and I'm gonna request some Freedom of Information Act
Please do.
to get this, because I'm getting conflicting information now. First, it's a safety, now we gotta cut it because of a water line issue, and it makes no sense to me. I'm a reasonable person, I just want answers at this point.
I've been very direct with you. The
Yep,
next step
you
is the
have.
data-informed survey process. We've authorized that this evening. The next step, as I told you, is to follow up with that data that is available to help us drive next steps, and I've been consistent in my word every day.
Right, but I wanna know what the process is to determine which tree goes first, because it seems like mine's being targeted unfairly, and I'm not appreciating that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Tracy Garrett, 30624 Bayview. I was trimming my tree this weekend, and unfortunately, we couldn't get a lot of it cut because it's in power lines. Does the city schedule DTE to come out at all, or is that up to the residents to have, like, when it,
It's a good question. I don't know the answer to that. Does anybody know the answer to that? We can talk to our partners at DT.
yeah,
and follow
I
up.
think
I'm not
that
sure
could be
the answer.
also some of the problem. I was afraid to trim it, because I'm like,
Yeah, that's
it looked like it was low hanging, but I'm like, I'm not touching it. I don't want to,
I'll,
I don't want to take the power down again for, half of Gibraltar.
We have good contacts there, so I'll take those in
Yeah.
action.
All right, thanks.
Yeah. Do you want to come to the mic, Rachel?
Sounds like you just
Yeah, so it's DT's issue. They'd have to call, the resident would have to call DT. They would
Look at
advise
that.
them, and then it's their obligation for the power line company to come and cut it down.
For folks that can't hear because the mic's not being used in the audience, it is DT's responsibility, but it involves you as a resident. If you, to flag that to DT beyond any site that they may see you while they're out in town. Great. Thank you for closing the loop already on that. Any further public comment? All right, council will be looking for a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion by Walden, do we have a second? Second by Wood. Clerk Tomasic, please call roll.
Mulnar?
Yes.
Schumate?
Yes.
Valentine?
Yes.
Walden?
Yes.
Wood? Cox?
Yes.
McNabb?
Yes.
Meeting adjourned. Hope everybody has a wonderful evening. Thank you so much.
There's a whole ordinance on it.
Thank you.